We've got a clicker. Green is for the next button. Last one took those somewhere. It's definitely. Welcome back, sir. If National Research and Innovation Agency making a presentation, we request you to please take your seat here in front. And thereafter, Space Angel Australia and SABR in Australia. The presentations will be made, ladies and gentlemen, from this podium. We also have a clicker for your convenience. The clicker, the slide changer, as you can see, has a green button, which is to go ahead on your slides, and the red button is to go back, should you skip a slide. And the other thing that I have to announce is each presenter is going to get 3 minutes. We request you to please stay within time limit, and a buzzer will be sounded at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds. So that will alert you when you have 30 seconds remaining. Additionally, there's going to be a timer running on the topmost right corner of your screen for you to assess time.
Excuse me, just to be sure, I'm from the propulsion. Do you have the slides here on
The slides are going to be with the console, but I'll
so they have it.
I'm sure they'll have it. If you've submitted them, they'll have it.
Okay.
You've already given them, right? Because yours is the fourth one.
Okay.
I mean, this sixth actually, because first we have industry bodies.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir. So the lady in white, there, she's the one who will guide you.
The lady in the white.
Yes. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now starting with the Space Business Connect session. In this session, we have actually invited overseas and Indian companies to make a pitch about their companies. We have a total of 49 companies as well as 2 industry associations whose representatives are going to be making a pitch presentation. As I said earlier, we request each speaker to be brief and complete their talk in under 3 minutes. Before we begin with the pitch presentation session, we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman InSpace, who's going to be chairing this session. We extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Somnath S., Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, seated on the head dais. And we also extend a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Vinod Kumar, Director Promotion in Space, and Mr. Shantanu Bhattavdekar, who's the Scientific Secretary of Indian Space Research Organization. Let's extend a hand and welcome the dignitaries in our midst. And I extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished delegates. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would first, of course, request Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman in Space, to do the opening remarks. Can we have the microphone on, switched on the dais, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Secretaries, DOS, and my other colleagues here. Welcome to the grand finale of a hectic 2 days of schedule. And as was mentioned by Swarya, that we have about 50 people who will be presenting their pitch on their company. And this will be a Guinness Book of World Record probably for 50 people to finish their talk in 2.5 hours. And that too engineers and scientists and business people. So no politicians though. So so let's see how we manage that. But let me just say it's in a way continuation of what we talked about in the morning, where we talked about what each country is doing, and now we are talking about what some of the companies are doing. We have a very good lineup of companies that will be making the presentations. And I think you will find, as I looked at some of the presentations, that fair amount of work is happening all over the world, something that none of us perhaps have a full view of. And when we go through this impressive presentation, we will really realize that private sector has come of age when it comes to the space sector. I'm going to request my colleague, Dr. Vinod Kumar, who is Promotion Director in Space, to make an opening statement, and then we will start the presentations.
Thank you, sir. Respected Sri Somnathji, Secretary Department of Space, and Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman in Space. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. On behalf of G20 SELM Organizing Committee, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this amazing Space Business Connect session. During this session, this presentation are planned by global space industry. It is indeed a very significant day as we gather here to witness the cutting-edge innovation and capabilities of space industries from around the world. Friends, we are witnessing a new space era in human history where the space industries are working to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. I am honored to be here before you all as we embark on this journey that we shape the future of space explorations. It is truly inspiring to witness the incredible growth and potential of the global and Indian space industry. The blossoming Indian space industry has garnered worldwide attention and admiration in recent times. You should have read a recent article in New York Times, Explosive Growth of Indian Space Tech Startups. I am pleased to see that out of total 50 plus presentation, over 60% are from Indian industry. Your dedication, ingenuity, and relentless pursuit of excellence have positioned Indian space sector to be reckoned with within the global space community. Friends, the space industry with its ever-expanding opportunities has the power to transform not only the understanding of our universe, but also everyday lives of here on the Earth. Under various verticals of space, I would like to express my gratitude to the G20 SELM Organizing Committee for this initiative. Your commitment to nurturing the space ecosystem is commendable, and we are privileged to have your unwavering support. The potential partnership that can develop here can propel your ventures to new heights. Without further ado, let us embark on this remarkable journey of limitless possibilities. Friends, new space era has begun. Thank you, and let the presentation begin. Please stick to the allotted time, as we have to have presentation from 50 plus presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will first start with the presentations from the industry bodies. So I'm going to request Mr. Anil Kumar Bhatt, Director General of ISPA, Indian Space Association, to please make his presentation. Sir.
Good afternoon and Jai Hind. Chairman ISRO, Chairman in Space, dignitaries on the stage, and industry delegates in the Space Economy Leaders Meeting. It's my honor to represent the Indian space industry here, and I will quickly go through some of that has been spoken in the last 2 days, would be a repetition. Please pardon me for that, but I would skip most wherever that is required. The Indian Space Association was made in October 2021 to create an enabling environment for strengthening the private industry in the Indian space sector and to propel India to the global forefront in the entire space ecosystem. And our focus areas were, of course, most importantly, unified for the policy framework, for energizing business growth, to interface with the defense and security agencies in India, for capacity and knowledge building, and for international partnerships. During our inauguration, these are the 4 frameworks the Prime Minister gave us. The first was allow the private sector freedom of innovation. Government to play the role of an enabler. We have to prepare the next generation for the future in space and treat the space sector as a resource for the progress of the common man. We today have these members I am flashing to you to just flash to you the major industry players in space which are there in India. 7 of our founding members, 9 of our core members, all of these have been suppliers of components or vendors to ISRO. And now we are looking at them to evolve as independent entities to do end-to-end work in space. We have associated members also, which are also some of them international companies, and we have a large number of startups. Putting them as per their expertise, this is how the upstream, midstream, and downstream looks in India. This slide was flashed yesterday by the chairman of InSpace. What I wanted to add is from September last year, when the draft telecommunication policy was taken out, and thereafter the draft geospatial policy, and in April this year, the release of the space policy, these have been very important events in the growth of the Indian space sector. And we are awaiting the FDI policy, which we are hopeful will be coming very soon. Notwithstanding that, activities by our industry members have already started in India. This is how the startups have grown today, with a total about 148 which are there recorded, and much more who have registered themselves with InSpace. The chairman ISRO, in one of his talks 6 months back, coined a new word called the National Space Enterprise of India. And what he said was, beyond ISRO, now it is NSIL, InSpace, the entire Indian Space Association, and the entire Indian space industry, that includes startups and academia. And all these, which form the space enterprise, would lead India's future space journey. Of course, many of our industry members will be supported and handheld by ISRO which has a legacy of more than 60 years. Move the next slide, please. We have had a very positive indication even before the government had announced the policy in 2020, and this is the kind of investment which our startups received in India. And every year it has been increasing, and in 2023, we are very confident that it will cross the figures which are there for 2022. Some of this was again flashed by my chairman, but I would like to highlight to you some of the major activities which has happened is, of course, firstly is the signing of the contract for the PSLVs, 5 PSLVs, with HAL and L&T consortium. Then is Skyroot, which was a startup which just came up in 2018 and was able to launch in November 15, 2021. Agnikul is another company which is making a 3D printed semi-cryogenic engine which has been tested on ground, and we hope they would be launching very soon this year. We had a historical launch of 72 satellites in 2 launches for OneWeb, which happened last year and this year in April. Digantara, again a startup, has successfully launched the world's first commercial space-based weather monitoring systems. Pixel has been able to launch 3 satellites and has also got a contract from NRO in USA. Dhruva has launched 2 nano satellites, while Nelco and Telesat are successfully have had a demo on LEO in India. Ajista, just in June, on 10th June, has launched their first satellite. This is just some of the many successes we have had in the last 1 year after the new policy was announced. And in all this, hand-holding by ISRO and support from InSpace has been a very, very major and important factor in the growth of our private sector. These are the other activities which have happened. I'll not go through each one of them. We also got a very policy which I mentioned in April, which gives an opportunity to NGEs to do everything possible, be it in communication, remote sensing, navigation, and in all domains, including space mining and extraterrestrial activities. A lot of faith which has been put in non-government entities by the government, and I'm very sure that our industry will live up to these expectations. We have released certain documents. This document I just wanted to highlight. We had got, with E&Y, we had got a study done last year on what is the overall Indian space economy compared to the world one, and the figures by their prediction by 2025, we would have an economy of about 13 billion. In various segments, the figures are given there. Of course, launch vehicles would be the least, about 1 billion. This is what the division of the sectors and the likely percentages growth which are likely to happen in satellite manufacture, launch services, ground segments, and satellite services. The largest growth, of course, would be in the launch services. We have also done a study. We had a meeting along with US and IIT Madras, where we were looking at the association of all space entrepreneurs in the Indo-Pacific. We all met there and we agreed that we would be making an association for all of us being together. On the aspect of space technology parks, many of our states in India have been moving in it. Kerala, Gujarat, Trivandrum, where at one spot they are providing all the opportunities for our space industry companies and especially the startups. We in ISPA carry out two conclaves. One is the Indian Space Conclave, which we started last year, and we had the Minister and Chairman ISRO there to support us, and a Defense Space Symposium where we looked into what all the defense forces would require, all the three services, and we have been able to get 75 defense challenges for the industry from the Ministry of Defense. We would be having the next conclave from 4th to 6th October this year, and we would welcome all of you for that. I finish here. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, we would once again reiterate the time limit. We have to stick to 3 minutes. Now I'd request Mr. Sanjay Kumar, President, Geospatial World, to kindly make his address.
Thank you very much and very good afternoon. Thank you to Dr. Somnath and Dr. Pawan for giving us this opportunity to talk about. I will be talking on behalf of the global geospatial community, a community which is more on to the downstream applications of space infrastructure, and my title would be more about space infrastructure and geospatial value for the world economy and society. Looking at what's happening around us is a lot of change which is on the rise is climate change, disasters, wasteland, or inflation. And the consequence of that is depleting agrofields, water scarcity, depleting natural resources, flora and fauna, and very important, depleting wealth of the nations. Especially in the last 3-4 years, a lot of wealth has gone away from us. So how do we deal with this situation? It's all about resilience. And resilience of all kinds, be it economic, be it social, be it environmental, be it infrastructure, cultural, or human, diversity, equity. These are the kind of resilience the transition is going on currently around us. So what is the role of space and geospatial infrastructure in that? Geospatial infrastructure and space help you measure, model, monitor, and manage what? And the output is in the form of productivity. It does help you increase productivity, efficiency, transparency, and compliance. And these are very important topics. And actually, when you talk about sustainability of everything, the compliance and transparency are equally important tool of sustainability of everything. And that's where the use of technology for productivity and efficiency is what leads to the economic growth, what leads to the sustainability of everything. Looking at geospace, the foundation of the digital economy. Geospace is actually the foundation. Today we live in a digital age and everything is dependent on geospatial technology and space infrastructure. What we help to do is describe the problem, diagnose the problem, predict the solutions, and then prescribe how to address that. This is the kind of workflow cycle we have to find hindsight, insight, and foresight. And that is how the economy is growing. That is how the businesses are using this technology across huge enterprises. You just say so many businesses are just dependent on the power of location, power of GNSS. PNT is inside every digital device of this world. And if the PNT is messed up, all of us are messed up. I'm telling about the economic impact. And what is that impact happening around us is that impact is transitioning our industry as a whole. The industry which was seen as a technology, the industry which was seen as a laboratory or a government function is an industry. So now you don't hesitate in saying that space is an industry or a geospatial is an industry in itself. And that is the kind of transaction taking place. And why this market map talks about is the fact that we have GIS and analytics, Earth observation, GNSS and positioning, frontier technologies, infrastructure modeling, solutions and system integrators, and the new kid on the block is the consulting firms. I can share these slides. I know it is not visible, but that is how the global geospatial and space market is organized. And look at the kind of companies, how they are playing into different parts of the role, and that's what we make a solution. And this slide, it talks about the $202 billion of investment in the last 3 years around geospatial and space. I heard about $100 billion investment, which has been said by various speakers in this summit. But where does other $102 billion comes in? That other $102 billion comes in actually from the location and geospatial investments. Host of investments is going on across the location companies, across the 3D modeling companies, across the indoor GIS companies, across the every aspect of living where we are making use of this technology. This industry is actually growing nowhere less than 17 to 20% CAGR every year. Just depends how do you want to define, how do you want to scope it up. That is what is the scope and definition is what makes you believe or not believe, or rather further believe. So global geospatial industry market currently is about $512 billion, out of which this includes GNSS and Earth observation as well. And let me tell you that 65 to 70% of this market is driven out of GNSS and Earth observation. And GNSS is almost 55% of that model. We give a lot of emphasis on Earth observation, but if you look at the actual uses of the space technology for the citizens or the consumers or the businesses or the security, GNSS is at the driving force. GNSS is the driving force, I want to tell you. And this is growing at the stage of about 14%. I have a caveat to share. When somebody says that, geospatial space economy is about $1 trillion going to be in 2030, I actually disagree. Space economy right now is already $1.7 trillion. But depends on how do you want to define that. Do you take all the applications, which is Uber or Airbnb or Zomato or all those applications and their business values, do you take them into account as part of your economy? Yes. 35 billion deliveries have taken place in India in last 1 year. 35 billion deliveries means what? Every delivery is based on the location. Every delivery is based on the indoor map. Every delivery is based on the 3D modeling. That's what it is. And this is a published figure. We have just a detailed exercise on this, and you have no hesitation in saying that this data is very, very correct. And the economic impact. Today itself, $7.5 trillion of economic impact. We as a profession, as a holistic profession, we make a $7.5 trillion economic impact. I'll just take 1 more minute or 30 seconds to say that why it is important that we actually talk about safety, sovereignty, and trade of space infrastructure. We heard about sustainability of space. We heard about the threats around that. If safety, sovereignty, and trade of space is not taken into account now, all this will be reversed. One bad actor, I already have seen, couple of bad actors can take it so backward that we all would be starting living into an age which we were about 20 years back. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to request PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara, Indonesia, and to all the speakers, the presenters, I'd like to inform you once again now that we have a buzzer which is going to sound at the end of 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And so that will alert you that you have 30 seconds remaining. You will also have on the top right of all screens the countdown timer running so that you're aware of time. Let me now invite PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara, Indonesia. Sir, you can also do it from here.
Before it starts, just for the knowledge of people from outside India, one of the areas where India has made significant opening up in this year is in the data availability. Geospatial policy was launched earlier the year, and space policy, and both have now made the space data very easily accessible to anyone and everyone. And there's no approval required of any kind for data below 30 centimeter resolution, or data less than 30 centimeter resolution.
Thank you very much for ladies and gentlemen for the time and for the head of delegation. We are from Pacific Satellite Nusantara. We are a private company in Indonesia. actually is number 2 for satellite. Usually the number 1 is PT Telkom, is state-owned, but we are growing step by step. Okay, next one. Oh, sorry. So we already 32 years. 1991, PSN is being as a startup at the time. Then we are operating for the beginning as a incline orbit satellite because we don't have money. So we are, but we try to giving solution in the rural area with the motorized antenna and everything's underdeveloped by ourselves to make it incline as a business. And then the second, in 2000, we are together with Lockheed Martin is become MSS, Mobile Satellite Services, at the time as for L-band. And then 2009, we are one of the biggest become cellular backhaul for the GSM using satellite, at that time still using C-band. And 2016, we are complete MBO, means management by objective, means we are finished our financings, we changed our management. So then from that time, we have resources that to change all the platform of PSN. After that, 2019, we start Nusantara 1. This is the first HTS for Indonesia, even already have a IP star at that time. And then after that, 2020, we launched Nusantara 2 from this collaboration with China. 2019 is collaboration with SSL from US, thank you. And also in several weeks ago, we just launched the Satria 1, or we call Nusantara 3. It's a Satellite Republic Indonesia. This is the first collaboration with the government, 150 gigs. And then the next, we hope the second largest, 160 gigabits per second with Boeing. Okay, next. Oh, sorry. Back. This is our constellation. Nusantara 1, Nusantara 2, Nusantara 3, and Nusantara 5. And we hope, but Nusantara 2 is failed because of rocket. And then we hope by this year, our capacity will be 300 gigabit per second. And we are still designing another satellite. Our target by 2 years more is like 600 gigabit per second. This is our payload and capacity. Okay, enough, I think. Okay, finish. Basically, we are changed it to KA band from C band, from KU, then we changed because the capacity not enough anymore. And then, because I'm a head secretary general for Satellite Association in Indonesia, Indonesia is growing like 65% only for the satellite. So satellite industry in Indonesia is a very high increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for staying close to your time limit. Ladies and gentlemen, since we have over 50 presentations, I request you to please stick to time limits. We have to complete all the presentations. And I'm now going to request from Space Angel Australia, Mr. Ram Kuppuswamy, to join us on the podium. Also, I request all the industry body members, people at the back, to take front seats. The front seats are empty. We will take the country placards away very shortly, but we can always invite you to come and take these front seats. Sir, this is your clicker. The green button is for ahead and the red for the...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman of ISRO, Chairman in Space. I'd like to keep the presentation light. I know it's after lunch. Our project from Space Angel is the Australian Space Super Corridor. We are proud to build the world's first green space pods. Our focus is to provide rapid rocket launches at a low cost from the green space pod. The vision is to will be built together as a public-private partnership with the Western Australian government as well as the federal government in regards to providing access to space. Our project is currently listed on the WA Western Australian Investment government website at the moment, and you can get more information from that. The way we see our supply chain as well as collaboration, a close collaboration with India is very much how this looks like. In terms of shipping routes into Australia, Fremantle Port, which is pretty much Perth, is the entry point, and then it goes through right all the way through Brisbane and then gets back out. The last exit point is through Western Australia itself. So in terms of supply chain is really, really strong. And that's essentially where the southern polar launch location is, and soon we'll be getting an equatorial launch site as well. In terms of the value proposition in regards to the area, if you look at the area, we have about 450 square kilometers of launch site capacity and capability. The airspace is very clear. There's no marine parks at the moment. And in terms of launch aspects, cadence, and trajectories, is between 51 and 120 degrees for polar. This is specifically for polar. And we can even launch in terms of across the continent, because in terms of population, there's really a very low population at the moment. And so why Australian Space Super Corridor? Key aspects is like a real estate agent: location, 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 low impact on commercial aviation, low impact on launching and landing anomalies, retrieval opportunities is some of the areas that we're looking at. Environmental and social impacts are very, very important. ESG, we've got certification as a process that we will be going through in terms of ESG certifications for the green spaceports. Strong federal and state support. The state government is very, very much driving behind this, and essentially to provide a low cost and high impact, economic impact to the world, to the region, and there's a lot of federal and state funding available, including private funding going on at the moment. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. And before I invite the next speaker, I'm going to invite the next 5 to come and sit closer to the podium. Dassault Aviation, France. So from Dassault Aviation, I request the delegate to, esteemed delegate to please join us here. The Exploration Company, we already have our delegate here. Imeria, France. Share My Space, France. And Leonardo, Italy. And with that, I now request Dr. Abhilash Chandra, SEBR in Australia, to please make his presentation.
Thank you. And namaskar, everyone. Dr. Somnath, Chairman of ISRO, Dr. Goenka, Chairman of InSpace. I'd like to thank you for inviting me here to be part of G20. Past 24 hours have been amazing, and I really want to thank everybody for that incredible experience. My background, my name is Abhilash Chandra. I'm Indian by descent, 3 generations removed from India, but India is still in my heart. I live in Australia now, so I've got the best of both worlds. I'm a little bit different to most people here. I'm a practicing vascular general and military surgeon. This is my 23rd year of service in the Australian Army. I've been an infantry soldier, medical officer, and now I'm the senior medical officer for 9th Brigade. I'm also an academic, so industry professor at UniSA and Future Industries Institute. And I'm also the founder and managing director of the Sabrin Group of companies. This background gives me a great opportunity to try and help deliver better healthcare to those who are in the world who need it the most. As we all know, 50% or more of the global population do not have access to adequate healthcare. The top left picture on this slide shows how the distribution of healthcare is globally. The darker areas are areas that do not have enough access to healthcare. So at this point, I'd made it my purpose to try and bring better healthcare faster to all the people who really need it. I've been developing the Sabrin eLife Pod. Basically, it's a transportable life sustainment pod that can provide an integrated emergency ICU and operating theatre capability. It can be transported by land, air, space, including the littoral zone, by a variety of different vehicles, which includes trucks, trains, planes, helicopters, amphibious vehicles, and boats. And when we look at starting to colonize extraterrestrial environments like lunar surface and Mars surface, I want to try and have the eLife Pod also providing the best healthcare for our people on extraterrestrial environments. So the e-life pod is designed to have better diagnostic, better monitoring, and better treatment capabilities. It'll start off with ultrasound and X-ray. Future generations will have CT scanners. It'll have capability of managing airways, transfusing blood, and performing surgery. It'll have advanced telehealth capability, and it'll be built according to the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. I want to work with India to try and build this e-life pod. My goal is to try and get the e-life pod to not only be useful for the Gaganyaan projects in the future, but also try and provide better healthcare for India and the world's poorest as soon as possible, being in line with the one Earth, one family, one future. These are my contact details. Please feel free to contact me with any questions or queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I invite Dassault Aviation France, Mr. Philippe da Silva.
So good afternoon. Okay, and thank you for this opportunity to be with you today. I represent Dassault Aviation, a French company, leader and pioneer in the aerospace industry, both in military and in commercial sectors. And we have in this domain a very long history of cooperation with India. In the space sector, we are primarily focused on the design of reusable space planes and lifting bodies, which are at the crossroad of aeronautics and space, and which can benefit the most from mature aeronautical technologies. And we have been involved in many spacecraft projects since the 60s, ESA programs, NASA program also. And in all these programs, we have always been committed to apply our proven technical aeronautic skills, making Dassault Aviation a unique player in the space sector. So we believe in synergies between space and aviation, and we believe these synergies will become increasingly strong, particularly to meet the growing needs of the commercial sectors. Many of today's space sector challenges are indeed those that aeronautics sector was able to address yesterday. That is what we did over this last century. I'm talking about reactivity, reusability, flexibility, reliability, and of course safety. And we believe that such vehicles, such space planes, is a smart and relevant solution to address these challenges. So space planes are indeed a missing asset of the global space chain value. I was just talking about technical challenge, but space planes also bring key operational capabilities, such as return from orbit, which is still poorly addressed today, and for which we need to come up with more innovative concepts. Because the need to down mass is going to grow, whether it's people with development of manned flights, but also microgravity experiments, lunar samples, and we are working on such concepts in Dassault Aviation, because tomorrow it will no longer be a question of returning passenger and resources or equipment in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but of operating on hourly schedules, returning as do airplanes at conventional airport, and using existing infrastructures. So these are some examples of all the capabilities that can address such orbital space plane. I won't go, we don't have time, but it's transport, cargo transportations, manned flights, and in-service orbit, and a lot of applications. Regarding our skills are a continuation of aviation technologies. We are above all a global architect and system integrator, mastering all the key technological skills for design, development, testing, production, certification, support of complex air system. And we have extended these key aeronautical skills to the space domain as an extension of the flight domain, faster and higher. As conclusion, I will say that over the past 10 years, the global space sector has undergone an unprecedented transformation and expansion, and as a player in aerospace innovation for over a century, Dassault sees this transformation as a great opportunity. An opportunity to meet new challenges, to make space more accessible, more responsive, more safe, more reliable, and also less expensive. And we are convinced that we have much to contribute to this transformation, and we see a real opportunity to develop fruitful cooperations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We have next the Exploration Company France, Ms. Helen Huby.
Okay. So, hello everyone, and I'm going to bring you in space. Our mission is to democratize space exploration, so to make it affordable, that is to say accessible from a price point of view, to make it sustainable. We are the first in the world to fly a space capsule with green propellant, and to make it open. We are the first in the world to open source our interface, and we want to be able to serve in a cooperative manner International Space Station, American Space Station, and also Chinese Space Station one day. So you see here basically our vehicle, our vision. Our vision is to make basically orbital vehicle like Volkswagen makes car. Our vehicles are made out of 2 bricks, 1 capsule, which fly to space station around the Earth, fly to space station around the moon, and then comes back and then can be reused, flying with green propellant, a technology that we develop in-house. And the second brick is the trunk, the service module, empty or filled with cargo when we go to space station around the Earth, and when we go to the moon we need additional energy, so we develop in-house a cryogenic oxygen methane engine that enable us to go to the gateway and or to land at lunar surface, and that engine can be refueled in orbit, so hence we can use, for example, the Starship capability as a tank to be able to perform several missions. So these are like cool design, but probably you want to know where we are today. So we started working in September 21. Today we're actually 82 employees because we grew since that slide, so since last week. We've raised around about 55 million euro, which is a record in Europe. We closed the biggest Series A ever raised in Europe by a space company. That's when there were war in Ukraine and double-digit inflation. And we are flying this year in October together with India. So thank you again to Radhakrishnan for the excellent cooperation that we've been able to set up with him. So we fly our first baby capsule second week of October, and it will be launched by PSLV. And in 24, we fly our subscale vehicle that will be launched by SpaceX. I want to show you some cool hardware picture, so that you can see that this is real actually. You see on the left-hand side our baby capsule that will be launched here from India, second week of October. You see in the middle the mid-size capsule, which is currently in the manufacturing process. On the bottom of the slide, you see our new integration room in Germany, and you see on the right-hand side the 2 in-house engines that we're developing in-house, green propulsion on the one hand, and oxygen methane for landing at lunar surface. And as a conclusion, I would like to thank again India for this amazing organization and for giving me the opportunity to present to you the Exploration Company, as well as for the great cooperation so that we can launch together this year our first baby capsule, and for the cooperations to come, among them a strong cooperation for the parachute and more to come. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, madam. And with that, I'd like to invite Emeria of France, Mr. Philippe Gauthier.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much to give us the opportunity with my colleagues to present our industry. I hope I will survive to the buzzer torture. Okay, Emeria in brief. We are a medium-sized company, 70 million of revenue, 400 employees, 3 plants. And to summarize, we have 3 lines of products for space, but not only space, for sky also. Satellites, we design and make small satellite, balloons, and also we have a product line of equipments to make trajectography. Please, next. Oh yes, I have the, I did not understand, excuse me. Up. Okay, fine. We propose small sites. Small sat means satellites which are under 100 kilograms and which address, I would say, three market segments. One is connectivity, mainly IoT. We are providing the satellites for a constellation called Kineis in particular. One product line is for Earth observation. And the third one, up to now, is only dedicated to defense application, is for space surveillance, and we are manufacturing right now 2 satellites for the French MOD to be in a geo-orbital orbit, and the purpose of those satellites is going to protect the key assets that the forces have in a geo-orbit. We have also under development a vehicle to take care about transportation of satellites up to geo-orbit. About the balloons, are systems now which are becoming again, I would say, fashionable. But just focus on the one category of balloons, which are stratospheric balloons. We are developing a maneuvering balloon, which is going to be able to stay at something like 20 kilometers of altitude during 6 months, and to stay stable in regards of the ground, so that there will be a lot of applications, Earth observation, telco, and so on, and it will be available in next year, in fact. And I wanted also to be brief to talk about our last baby. We are also investor. We are trying to move also downstreams for space application, and it has been well said in the presentation before that the business is much growing in that arena. And we have created one year ago a startup which is going to focus on the subject of water, inland water, management of the water, prediction of disasters, with 2 segments. We are going to put in orbit a constellation of satellites to make certain measurements daily on 30,000 points on the Earth. And we have also, of course, a digital segment, which is providing data and services to manage quality and quantity of water. And of course, it's a key subject all around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And the esteemed delegate from Share My Space, France, Mr. Romain.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Chairman, I'm very honored to be here with you and to present to you my company, Share My Space. So we are a French-based company with a global ambition, and we work in the field of space surveillance and space operations safety and security. So we were incorporated in 2017 for one fundamental reason, Earth orbit congestion. So now there are more and more satellites in Earth orbits, more and more space debris that are causing increasing risks for the sustainability of human activities in space. So our fundamental mission is to tackle that. So how do we do it? So we've built a system that we called our Orbital Information System, which is a set of algorithms and database architecture, all secured. So we ingest, process, package, and distribute high added value data for our customers, who are institutions, military bodies, and commercial players in the space sector. So we ingest data from various sources, so public sources from partners, including our customers. And as a key part of our orbital information system, we control a network of of optical stations scattered around the world. We currently have 4 operational optical stations. And we've actually designed, developed, and deployed the key innovation that we call the multi-telescope observation station. So it's an optical system made out of 4 optical telescopes that scan the sky and detect all the objects that cross an observation ring. So it works a little bit like a radar system would do, but using optical technology, which enables us to drive the costs down and to bridge the gap with the commercial market. So we've designed the system to be extremely sensitive in LEO, across all orbits, and in particular in LEO, also very, very accurate, so it enables us to address a wider market. So currently we detect even the smallest objects in the US catalog, both in LEO and in GEO. So going forward, so yeah, we've successfully addressed the key segments of our market, so institutions, military, and commercial players. We have 15 customers in 7 different countries around the globe, and we've really managed to package key products for each of these segments. So we are looking forward first I'd like to thank again the ISRO and CNES for having us here, and we're definitely looking forward to further collaborations with Indian partners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the next speaker from Leonardo, Italy, we have Thales Alenia Space lined up. After that, I invite iSpace Incorporated, Japan, Sagri, Japan, and Unmanned Exploration Laboratory, Republic of Korea. So let me now invite from Leonardo, Italy, Mr. Sandro Panagini.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the possibility to present Leonardo activities and in special a focus on the space Leonardo activities. As you know, Leonardo is a global company that develops multi-domain operational capabilities in the aerospace, defense, and security sector with an integrated offer of high technology solution for military and civil application. 4 business sectors are managed by Leonardo. One is the helicopters through direct resources like the helicopter division and several cooperation and joint ventures. Another is aeronautics, then defense, electronics and security, and space. Space is, Leonardo is acting as with direct resources, providing activities, but through also the Telespazio, the joint venture with Telespazio, which is for the 70% owned by Leonardo, and Thales Alenia Space, which is owned of the 33% of the share, and also Avio for the launcher. So you can see that there is a cover of the completely chain value of the industry space. It's worthwhile to mention that the 30% of share of Leonardo is owned by Italian Ministry of Economy and Finance, while the other is on retail market through institutional investor and on the market. 90% of the institutional float is international. Space. Leonardo covers the entire value chain of the space industry, from the manufacture of satellites and orbiting infrastructure to the production of high-tech equipment and sensor, in addition to developing a new space application and the management of satellite services up to propulsion and launching system. Through the joint ventures, Telespazio, satellite services for the design, development, launch, and in-orbit controlling space systems, and servicing and application for Earth observation. Through Thales Alenia Space, satellite system for telecommunication, navigation, Earth observation, probes and rovers for space exploration, and multifunction orbiting modules. Directly, with ordinary resources, Leonardo provides instruments and equipment. Instruments, electro-optical instrument and hyperspectral payloads, laser transmitter and robotic system for space exploration and the study of our planet. And as equipment, photovoltaic panels, atomic clocks, attitude sensor, power distribution system, and orbital micropropulsion. Just to give you an idea of where the equipment and the instruments of Leonardo are in the solar system, we are far of the solar system up to close our system. Just to pick up 2 information, 2 of these missions. One old, that is New Horizon, for example, launched in 2006, in which the Star Tracker manufactured and developed by Leonardo, owned the proper engagement to the planet and the proper flyby to Plato's planet. while one of the most recent is JUICE mission, in which Leonardo provide the PVA for the power of the craft. We are speaking about 85 square meters of PVAs, the biggest for exploration ever built till now. And two important instruments, one high resolution camera and a spectrometer in the visible and infrared spectrum. So those are the capabilities of Leonardo, that is provide a wide range of high reliable solution for Earth observation, science, planetary exploration, navigation and telecommunication program, based on a long-standing collaboration with Italian Space Agency and European Space Agency. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And may I invite from Thales Alenia Space Italy, Mr. Vincenzo Giorgio.
Good afternoon, and again, thank you for giving me the possibility to show up what Thales Alenia Space does in space. I could simply start with the statement that says that we do everything but launcher, meaning space infrastructure, telecommunication, Earth observation, science, exploration, and navigation. And in this picture, you can actually see all the orbits and all the products that, by the way, are very well flight proven since the last 40 years. So you see at the list of the chart, the Mars, where we have an orbiting system there waiting for the rover to go. Our motto is space to, meaning that space to observe, space to defend, space to explore, and so on. So that's the way we divide our disciplines. Let's start with space to observe and navigate. I'm referring specifically to a very specific competence of Italy in the radar system. It all started with the Cosmos SkyMed, Constellation 6 satellite going on, and 2 ready to fly, which allowed us to go into the position of a main actor of the ESA EU Sentinel for the Earth observation, whatever field. I mean, a radar, hyperspectral, as well as optical observation. We have now developed, and we are under a contract to fly constellation for the high-resolution radar systems. The reason behind that is the increase time revisit that is very much required by the customers. Satellite ranging in the weight average of 200 kilograms and in a constellation mode. Going to navigation, we are building the second generation of the Galileo system in Europe. Then Earth to explore, space to explore. Our heritage starts from Space Lab, therefore we are talking of the 70s, more or less, or the 80s, and we've been working on the International Space Station, where we have a major role. I mentioned the fact that Thales Alenia Space has built more than the 50% of the habitable volume, and we are today the major actor in the building of the Lunar Gateway in terms of habitable volume. We have the International Lab, we have the Esprit module for the resources, we are building the US-led HALO under contract with a US prime, and we are developing under the Italian Space Agency a lunar habitat on the surface. We are also participating to the commercial LEO development with a number of actors. Today we have contract in place with Axiom, and you see the 2 modules, flight models being already manufactured in TAS, and we have the Martian mission ExoMars. We already have a satellite flying around Mars. We will land the rover in 2028. Actually, it would have been launched in 2022, but due to the crisis in Ukraine, the launch was delayed for the existing cooperation between Europe and Russia, which was actually destroyed. This being said, we are very much active in trying to look for area of cooperation with India as well as with other countries, including the possibility to localize some of the production that we have. As you see, what we need here is be competitive, and we're trying to do everything allow us to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now I invite from iSpace Incorporated Japan, Mr. Masayuki Urata.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Masayuki Urata, Sales Officer of iSpace Japan. Today, I would like to give a presentation about our company and our recent mission, and also about our future missions. But before that, I would like to mention that the keyword is, let's go to the moon together. So this is overview of our company, iSpace. So we were established in 2010 with a long-term vision, Moon Valley 2040. Currently, we have employees with 200 people from over 25 countries located in Japan, USA, and Europe, Luxembourg. So we are developing Lunar lander and Lunar rover, and as asset, we have Mission Control Center in Tokyo. And we are providing a payload service. It's a transportation of cargo from the Earth to the moon. The second one is data service. We are providing flight data to the moon and also lunar data. As for the financial achievements, we would like to emphasize that we successfully raised over 200 million US dollars before IPO. And in this April, we succeeded in IPO in Tokyo Stock Exchange growth market. So it is the first IPO as a startup space startup in Japan. And this is the overall overview of our mission 1. So we launched our first lander to the moon last year in December, and we attempted lunar landing in April 2003. Yeah. So unfortunately, the result was ended as hard landing. But it is very important that we identified the root cause of the hard landing as a failure, and we can reflect such lessons learned, utilize lessons learned for the future missions. Yeah. Then as you can see, so we successfully took some pictures in the lunar orbit, and also there's some analysis as a hard landings. Then you can check our detailed analysis in the YouTube, but it is a kind of software error related to altitude measurement. Yeah. Then this is our future missions. We have 2 future missions now specifically planned. Yeah. So mission 2, we are going to use the same lander, and as for mission 3, we are going to upgrade for commercialization, which has 500 kilograms payload capacity. We are going to launch Mission 2 in 2024, next year, and Mission 3 in 2025. As for Mission 3, we got a big contract from NASA under CLIPS program, and we are going to bring 100 kilograms of NASA's payload to the far side of the moon. We are going to bring 2 commercial communication satellites together with this lander. Yeah, if you are interested in a lunar mission in the future, so please kindly contact us, and let's go to the moon together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And before I invite the next presenter, may I invite presenters, the next set of 5 presenters to please come and take seats close to the podium. Unmanned Exploration Laboratory, Republic of Korea, Glabcosmos, Russia, Inmarsat, UK, Mithira Global Communications Limited, and Voyager Space, USA. And now I invite from Sagri, Japan, Mr. Satoshi Nagata. Green button for the going ahead.
Okay. Nice to meet you all. And at first, I'd like to thank you, ISRO team and the admin team for today. Nice to meet you. I'm Satoshi Nagata from Sagri. Our company from Japan, established in 2018. Actually, we have a company in Bangalore here. Actually, I'm leading the Indian engineering and sales team. I'm leading from India. Yeah. Actually, our company in our world, we are utilizing the satellite images, AI, mapping technologies. We are utilizing these three key features of technology and supporting farmers in emerging countries. Okay, this is an example of our technology. We have two key features. Yeah, one is the auto mapping of farmland. We are, for example, in emerging countries, farmland is scattered. For example, in Himachal Pradesh in India, scattered and hilly, it's very difficult to track. But however, if we use satellite technology, we can map easily. Based on this mapping, after that, actually we can check the total carbon, available nitrogen, pH CC, main chemical indexes we can track. Maybe based on these analysis, we can optimize the fertilizer. Actually, in this scenario on the world, fertilizer cost is 2 to 3 times, and also the limitation of the supply of nitrogen. That's why farmers are suffering of the high cost of fertilizer here. To deal with these challenges, we certainly can provide the optimization of fertilizer based on satellite image analysis. Then, after these analysis, we can support farmers like these, based on satellite image analysis of farmland. Then we can suggest farmers to please decrease chemical fertilizer. Based on that decrease, farmers can decrease the greenhouse gases from the farmland. Based on these degrees of greenhouse gases, we can contribute also to the a carbon neutral situation in the world. Then after that, farmers can get the carbon credit revenue from in the voluntary credit market. Yeah. In this concept, we started working actually from India and Kenya, Thailand, Vietnam, all over the world. We'd like to work together. So, and friends from the world today, if you would like to partnership with us, yeah, we are open today. And also, I'm based in Bangalore, so maybe whenever you are free, we can have a call each other. Thank you for listening. Dhanyabad.
Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, next we have from Unmanned Exploration Laboratory, Korea, Mr. Yongsub Kim. There you go, sir.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yongsub Kim, project manager at Unmanned Exploration Laboratory. UAL is a South Korean robotics startup specializing in making rovers for space. UAL provides many different robotic platforms for use in exploration. Our catalog includes conventional aerial drones, rovers on ground vehicles, as well as simulation chambers to test lunar equipment. As a leading startup aligned with Korea's national space policy, we have partnered with key national research institutes in aerospace, construction, and nuclear energy, and are paired with multiple government projects for space exploration. We have built and tested multiple prototypes of lunar rovers. We have small few kilogram two-wheel rovers to large four-wheel rovers with dedicated suspensions and solar panels. We are also experimenting with foldable chassis and fierce technologies that allow our rovers to be packed into small space and be available for more missions. And this is our foldable wheel rovers, and we can downsizing our wheels like this mechanism. Okay. We also have separate technologies for 3D printing technology that can use lunar regolith and manufacture synthetic lunar soil for experimenting lunar equipment. We are going through these projects with various partners, both in the public and private sector. We have institutions with whom we are developing a lot of these foldable structures. These partners are critical for us to gain access to advanced technologies such as new materials testing in their space environment. Our startup is located in both the capital Seoul as well as factory in a nearby city of Ansan. The pride of our facilities is a lunar environment test bed of 10 square meters filled with lunar Legoli simulant. Also, we are collaborating with science YouTuber Minani to increase public interest in the space industry in the Korea. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us in the email address here. Thank you for hearing my presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, now let me invite from Glab Cosmos, Russia, Mr. Dmitry.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I didn't bring any portable demo objects with me as the previous speaker did, but I will try to surprise you and flip my presentation backwards. This is a very complicated chart that just justifies our presence here. All of you know how important all of us are in the space industry for the space economy, and since we are in the Space Economy Forum, I thought it would be necessary to show this. This is a tribute to what the Director General of Roscosmos mentioned yesterday, the future, in fact not the future, but the forming Russian multi-constellation of satellites of different types. Several of them have already been launched. And this is in essence what the business of my company is. Globcosmos is a 100% subsidiary of Roscosmos State Space Corporation. We were founded in 1985, and since then, India was one of our main partners in international space business. In fact, the core business of our company, the most probably important part of it is providing launch services. In fact, one of the last launches was from the newest Russian spaceport, Vostochny. We organized the launch of 42 piggybacks, 42 secondary payloads. We also propose commercial space flights to the ISS. The next launch opportunity will be in 2025. By the way, speaking about secondary payloads, all opportunities for this year are booked already, but we have every year at least 2 to 3 opportunities to put here payload on a federal Russian launch. Finally, I would like to commend ISRO for the great work it is doing with the private companies. We in Russia, the Russian government is also turning to the private space business, and recently Globcosmos was authorized to tackle interaction with the Russian private companies. So, summarizing, we act as a one-stop shop for the whole Russian space industry. We're facilitating your contacts with a very complicated official, sometimes bureaucracy. That's well known how it happens. So you're most welcome to address us, and let's go to space. Thank you very much.
I'd like to now invite from Inmarsat UK, Mr. Gautam Sharma.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, both the chairmen, for giving me an opportunity to be part of this session. I'm Gautam Sharma, Managing Director of Inmarsat India. And we've been giving mission-critical services to the Indian government for last 2 decades. We've also recently started giving in-flight maritime services to our Indian customers. We have also been recently acquired by Viasat, which makes us one of the largest satellite service provider in the world. The mission of the company is to connect the world because we believe when everyone is connected, the possibilities are limitless. As I said, together, Viasat plus Inmarsat becomes a $4.1 billion revenue company with EBITDA of $1.4 billion. And the enterprise value of Viasat becomes $14.8 billion. We have a constellation of 19 satellites in Ka band, L band, and S band. And in addition to this, we are also planning to launch 10 more satellites, including 2 satellites in HEO orbit to give connectivity in the Arctic region. The market which we will be addressing by 2030 would be $1 trillion market. And we have around 8,000 employees, out of which 300 employees are based out of India. And we also have global offices in almost 90 plus places, including 3 offices in India, which includes Chennai, Hyderabad, and New Delhi. And we have patents of 2,500 plus jointly. The focus of Viasat entity would be on fixed satellite services, giving high throughput broadband connectivity to consumers, strategic government services, as well as mobility services. The key markets would be commercial aviation, business aviation, maritime, space, tactical networking, etc. We also believe the future lies towards broadband and IoT, and that's why the focus would remain on energy, aviation, fixed, government, maritime, and on the IoT side, on tracking and monitoring and analytics. As I said, we believe in connections, and our focus remains on sustainability because we strongly believe protecting environment is important for every citizen, community and charitable giving, and diversity and inclusion. These are few of the customers which we're already serving in India, which includes Vistara Airlines. They're using our safety broadband solutions in their cockpits. In addition to SpiceJet, where we have in some of their 777 Maxes, our Global Express services. We also serve Great Eastern Shipping Corporation of India by digitizing their maritime vessels, Shipping Corporation of India, and similarly, we're also giving connectivity across board to defense forces, which includes Swift Broadband, as well as Fleet Broadband and Inmarsat C services. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now may I invite from Methera Global Communications Limited, Mr. Ravi. Sir.
Okay. Start working? Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ravi Alawadi. I represent Methera Global in South Asia. Methera Global is a UK-based company making constellation of MEO broadband satellites. Our motto is to provide services anytime, anywhere, instead of every time, anywhere. Ours is steerable beams. The satellites are at 19,500 kilometers. The filings are in the Ka, QV, and W bands. The constellation is of 128 satellites, out of which the first 12 satellites will go into the orbit in December, starting December 2024. The other part, which is very important for us, is the low-cost terminal which we are developing. It's a terminal which is developed under the leadership of Methera with the consortium of some companies. The design is at this moment proprietary, working for Ka band, but I'm pleased to announce that very soon this terminal will evolve to switch over to the other bands, including Geo, LEO, and other bands. This terminal has 2 usage, one for the residential users, up to 300 Mbps using a 60 centimeter antenna, and 1.2 meter antenna giving up to 1 Gbps speed. These are our main markets, starting with the residential, enterprise broadband services, GSM backhaul, government for digital rollouts, services including the earth monitoring, military and defense, other data and communication services, disaster recovery, and rescue services. Just to conclude, we are a bridge between GEO and LEO, and we are totally aligned to what has been mentioned every time, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is one Earth, one space, one family. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very crisp presentation. And I'd like to now call on, before I call on Voyager Space USA, may I also invite the esteemed delegates from Eliana, Singapore, Indra, Spain, Satlantis, Spain, PLD Space, Spain, and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited to be closer to the podium. And I invite Mr. Marshall Smith from Voyager Space.
Thank you. All right, thank you. So we'll go ahead and get started. So at Voyager Space, I talked a little earlier, we're building the infrastructure. We're trying to have inventive space infrastructure and diversified technical solutions. A lot of mumbo jumbo there, but what I'll say is, you know, this is what we're mostly known for is Starlab. Starlab is, Voyager is building the first commercial space station. We will launch this all in one single launch. It is a fairly large system. It's about 40% of the ISS pressurized volume. It has a power propulsion system, 60 kilowatt power propulsion system. The actual research system that's in the vehicle will have 100% of the payload capacity of the ISS actually, and then some. We'll have a robotic arm and a science airlock showing, actually that's our Bishop airlock that is on the ISS now. And then we'll have an equipment bay behind it where we'll keep most of the equipment. So, you know, this is a very large system, much larger than anything that has been launched in the previous systems as we move forward. We eventually will add on 1 or 2 modules to it, but in the long run, we plan to launch multiple of these stations because we really want to look at the focus of what we're doing. We want stations to be focused on research. We want them to be focused on manufacturing, maybe tourism, other things like that. They all have different needs, different types of customers who really don't play well together. You know, you don't want to be doing advanced microgravity research next to somebody who wants to play their music really loud as they move forward, or doing manufacturing that's dirty. The other things that we do that maybe aren't as well known is we're into orbital servicing and space sustainability, spacecraft communication systems, propulsion systems, both solid and electric systems, Earth and space visualization, ISR, and other advanced solutions. So just really quickly, you know, one of the things we're looking at is how do we recycle upper stages to be used as outposts for Earth observation or other types of research that folks might want to do as we move forward. Airlocks, of course, we do the Bishop airlock now. It's the first commercial real estate that became a perfect permanent addition to the ISS in 2020. We use the Bishop airlock to move it. It's actually very large. It's a little bit, I can stand up inside it, and we put payloads in it and expose them to the vacuum of space as we move forward. We do launch and mission management systems. NanoRacks, one of our companies, has been doing research on the ISS for over a decade. I've launched over 1,500 payloads. We're the largest launcher of payload systems to space with that. Moving on. We're doing orbit servicing and sustainability, refueling systems, those types of things, capture management systems, dog tags, where you can use electropermanent magnets and connect to facilities, connect in space so you can capture them and then either refuel them or remove debris. Communication systems, laser and RF communications. We have been doing RF communications for quite a number of years, as well as laser communications. Digital systems, electro-optics, and custom communication systems. As I said, solid and electric propulsion systems, and then Earth visualization systems. We have ISR capabilities that we use. And then finally, you know, other solutions that are out there. For example, we're involved with oxygen development on using lunar regolith and other minerals, and how do we go use those, as well as launch pad infrastructures, ground systems, and things like that. So with that, I'll leave it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. And now from Aliena, Singapore, Dr. Mark is going to present. So, the green button is to go.
Sure. Okay. Oh, it's all the way to there. Distinguished delegates, I'm Mark Lim, co-founder and CEO of Aliena. Aliena is a Singapore-based company that aims to provide last-mile mobility solutions for satellites. Aliena is a proud spin-off of Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. We were incorporated in 2018 to seize opportunities presented from the new space renaissance. This includes the improved performance and widespread deployment of small satellites, the observation of satellites operating at lower altitudes, and the shift towards deployment of satellites in small to large constellations. Our core product today is the multi-stage ignition compact Hall thruster, or in short, Music Engine. Music offers cost-effective performance, making it the industry standard for satellite platforms interested in compliance with deorbiting regulations, enabling operations of satellites in constellations, and improvement of satellite performance through operations at very low Earth orbit, VLEO. Just like the melting pot of cultures and innovation in Singapore, Aliena features an international team who have had extended experience working on 7 different international Hall thrusters. We also actively engage in capability development within Singapore by training and mentoring space systems engineers of tomorrow through our internship programs. We have contributed globally through the demonstration of our systems at various laboratories. This includes laboratories at ESA, Stanford, Imperial College London, and Kyushu Institute of Technology in Japan. We have also provided our systems and components to meet some of the frontier R&D needs of numerous research centers pursuing electric propulsion. Now, let me just spend a little bit of time speaking about our missions. We first made waves with the development and deployment of an ultra-low power Hall thruster. This was launched in January 2022 on SpaceX Transporter-3 mission. The system launch is officially the world's lowest power Hall thruster at just 10 watts and offers capability for ignition on demand. The satellite which hosted our system is also the world's smallest satellite to host a Hall effect thruster at just 3U. Our next mission is actually in a couple of weeks' time, and it's an incredible honor for us to be in India now, since the launch will be on the PSLV. In this mission, a 12U satellite will demonstrate our Music Engine as a multimodal engine alongside other systems built internationally. As an international collaboration managed by Aliena Singapore, this cooperation involved the UK for the provision of the satellite bus, as well as Finland for the resistor jets paired with our Hall thrusters. We are incredibly proud to be providing our engines to a local consortium made up of academic and industry entities that will be flying a small satellite demonstrator at very low Earth orbits, VLEO. This endeavor aims to characterize the environment at VLEO and demonstrate capabilities for data acquisition in VLEO while compensating for drag using our low-power engines. Finally, we'd like to share that we have made history with a UK consortium earlier this year by demonstrating the world's first Hall thruster to operate on water as a fuel. Aliena provided a critical enabling subsystem for the thruster tested, and it was demonstrated to operate nominally in Imperial College London and at the European Space Agency's propulsion laboratory just a few months ago. Now, in conclusion, we'd like to take this opportunity at G20 SELM to highlight that we are extremely keen on forging new partnerships internationally. We also like to explore new mechanisms or collaborative opportunities for us to provide our systems and components to sharpen the edge of your missions. I'm confident that we can go far together, and I'm looking forward to making meaningful partnerships on the sidelines of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, we now go on to Indra, Spain. May I invite Ms. Maria Cristina to kindly make her presentation. And the green button is to go ahead, red to go behind. There's also a video in her slide, so we'll play that video, and whenever you say, they'll play the video.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to stay here, showing a little what Indra company can do for everybody in the world, especially regarding to the space. Indra is a company that more than 56,000 employees around the world, with a presence in more than 46 countries and with projects in more than 140. Really, we are starting. Here is the video. Please, could you add? Yeah? No, this one. Go to the following. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you very much. This is our radar for surveillance of the space. Really, the situation regarding the space and the debris that we are suffering every day more and more, we need to have a clear idea about what is going on. Really, the situation every day is more congestive, and we need to know exactly what happened. The space domain awareness is one of the critical areas, and for that, Indra has developed our surveillance radar that with the capability of the coverage of more than 2,000 kilometers, okay, and with very high accuracy in the detections. With this, we can perform a complete catalog about the things that has surrounding us, okay, and we can try to predict what will be the behavior in some extent. In this situation, we have an L-band radar, monostatic, with transmitter and receiver antennas oriented to the south area in a plane forming of 30 degrees. This radar is under operation from our Spanish Air Force from the end of the 2018, that right now is under the operation of the Spanish Air Force, as I mentioned. This is a radar that is contributing to the AU-AST network and is giving all the information to avoid any collision, to predict the re-entries, and also to analyze what happened in the space. Really, we have a long company with a long history in radar application, and this is key for us. Also, we are in the space, in domain, in the navigation area, in the control, observation, and space tracking, and in Earth observation applications. In all of this, we are using the Earth observation, for instance, in the downstream, we are monitoring the change in the climate conditions. We are also checking and planning the emergencies and rescues happen, and just giving us as much information in the image and the processing that we can. With this, we can plan perfectly what is the situation of the disasters. In the navigation area, we are contributing in the GNSS infrastructure and the performance and the monitoring and detection. Also, we are planning to have, and we are working right now in Startical. Startical is a joint venture between Enaire and Indra, with a 50% of each one, that we are preparing a very big constellation with more than 250 satellites, just mainly focused in the VHF and ADS-B payload for ATM control, okay? These are the payloads destination to avoid any misinformation during the transoceanic flights, and it's going to give also the possibility to save in the oils and the transit areas to minimize the time also for the flights. Yes, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much, madam. And with that, I would now invite from Satlantis, Spain, Mr. Guillermo Rosello. So the green button is to take you ahead, and the red.
Namaste. Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure on behalf of Atlantis being present here. My name is Guillermo Rosselló, Director of International Business for the company, and we'll have a 3 minutes journey, now less, around Atlantis and images around the Earth. We come from the astrophysics, that's our DNA. We come from watching stars, you know, astrophysics, this coffee at 3 a.m., watching from special phenomena, trying to understand what is happening up there, to watch the Earth, to look down, And that's the technology that Atlantis has developed using technology for deep space employed for Earth observation. So we have developed an optical payload, high-resolution optical payload that is able to work in different spectral bands and able to work with these dimensions with small satellites thanks to the hardware and to the software designed by Atlantis. Now we're providing full Earth observation solutions built around the core of the mission, the brain of the mission, that is the optical payload, in order to be able to transmit to the customer as a prime contractor the Earth observation strategy based on our knowledge of the optical. We are 100 employees company right now, combination of private and public shareholders. As private shareholders, we have several oil and gas investors, as oil and gas sector needs to understand better and better the methane emissions, and space is one of the best assets to have a wide scanning, wide screening of methane emissions with detection and quantification. We're able to do this, configuring our sensor in a sweet channel and detecting methane with a 1.65 microns. This is our portfolio of payloads. We have two payloads in the market right now, one under development. The smaller one's 4 kilogram GSD, around 2 meters. The 170, which is 80 centimeters, you saw a previous image in the previous slide. And ICM 300, which a target of below 50 centimeters. When working with full turnkey solutions, full satellites for customers, we're working with the platform you can see on the screen, and 16 CubeSat, microsats, and minisats in future with ICM 300. This is our technology roadmap. We're strong right now in the upstream and extending to MWIR and LWIR and polarimetry. These are our missions. We are in our 4th mission right now. We launched our 2nd satellite some weeks ago with Transporter 8, and we have ahead 3 missions for next year on 16 CubeSats and on 2 microsats with different instruments on board for oil and gas and defense and security. Here you can see an image of Suez Channel in Egypt. Thank you very much. Shukriya, I just want to share a thought on behalf of Atlantis. Some centuries ago, ocean and sea were granting hope for mankind. And probably today, we're all here and glued by a new hope, which is space. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you very much to you, sir. And now from PLD Space Spain, may I invite Mr. Raul.
Okay, hello everybody. This is Raul Verdu, co-founder of PLD Space. It's a pleasure to see here in the G20 event. So it's very proud to share with us our capabilities. So PLD Space is a small launcher company. We are developing a simple and robust eco-friendly rocket. So we are selecting the very mature technologies in terms of engines, structures, avionics, ground equipment, operations, and everything to do a very simple rocket to be operated and to develop an orbital class vehicle super, let me say, reliable, because we are understanding that we are not trying to improve the state of the art of the rocket. We are just trying to do in a very simple way, in a very cost-effective way. And I want to add also that it's eco-friendly. We are using green propellants called biokerosene. We are developing with the national energy company Repsol the synthetic kerosene to be, let me say, net zero company today. So PLD Space is a full vertically integrated company. So we manufacture everything in-house. We purchase very raw material and enter from one door of our workshop, and in the other door we are delivering entire rockets. So even the testing capacity, we have 100,000 square meters of ground testing capability to test structures, engines, systems, almost everything, COPVs or whatever technology that a launcher has on board. We are the unique company in Europe that we developed that system level testing. So we have, let me say, a small and a private test range. Today, the company has a size of 150 full-time employees, growing up to 300 because we are increasing our capability from manufacturing 2 or 3 rockets per year to manufacture 30 rockets per year. So our last milestone was our first launch attempt. Unfortunately, our demonstrator vehicle called Mura-1 commands auto abort because a sensor in the umbilical release mechanism. So we are very proud to achieve that state of the art from the private point of view. So PLD Space was a company that was founded in 2011, 12 years of heritage. You know, I don't know if we are from the new or from the old space today, because a lot of years working today with a strong support with our national government and the National Space Agency. So I think with our project and our colleagues at Spain, we are warranting at national level the capacity, and the European level the capacity to launch something in the space. So stay connected, because our maiden flight will be in September, October this year. So thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, before I invite the gentleman from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, I'd like to invite Larsen and Toubro and Lakshmi Machine Works to be closer to the podium. I invite Mr. Balaji Natarajan to now please present on behalf of HAL.
Good afternoon. HAL is a strategic partner, has been associated with ISRO for Indian space programs for almost last 5 decades. HAL has promoted ISRO for all its development projects, including Chandrayaan-1, Mars Orbiter mission, Chandrayaan-2, Crew Atmospheric Re-entry Experiment test, pad abort test of cruise escape systems, etc. HAL has been supplying critical structures, tankages, satellite structures for PSLV, GSLV, and LVN-3 launch vehicles. We have delivered the biggest tank and also the heaviest tank for Cryogenic upgradation development program of ISRO. We are making critical hardware for the Gaganyaan project for both the unmanned and subsequently manned missions planned by ISRO. HAL is already supplying L40 integrated stages for the GSLV vehicle. We have also established dedicated facility for taking up stage integration of PS2 and GS2 stages of PSLV and GSLV respectively. Further, HAL along with L&T will be realizing the PSLV launch vehicle for NSIL in the coming years. This challenging project, once accomplished, will go a long way in establishing the role of industry in taking up bigger, complex, end-to-end realization projects for the Indian space programs. HAL has also established the Cryogenic rocket manufacturing facility in Bangalore. We have commenced the pre-production activities and are hopeful of rolling out the development modules of the engine in a couple of months' time. The facilities with Aerospace division has been augmented continuously over time to manufacture structures and propellant tanks of different types and sizes, different materials and varied complexities. The manufacturing excellence of the division is visible in production of space-worthy large components and assemblies with stringent dimensional and quality requirements. HAL has been the mainstay partner from the era of experimentation to the present era of commercialization. We hope that this journey will continue and HAL will remain to serve the Indian space industry in every way possible. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. And now may I invite Larsen and Toubro. Mr. Lakshmesh is going to now present. So this is your green is ahead.
Good afternoon, sirs. And thanks for the honor to be here in the G20 summit. With over 80 years of strong customer focus and world-class quality, L&T has unmatched capabilities across technology, engineering, construction, high-tech manufacturing, and of course maintains leadership positions across all its businesses. In the domain of high-tech manufacturing, L&T has critical role in critical and strategic sectors like power, nuclear power, defense, and of course, aerospace. L&T has been partner to ISRO over 5 decades and across practically every domain of the upstream, midstream, and downstreams. When it comes to the upstream, Larsen & Toubro has been scaling up from being a tier 1 to super tier 1 to a complete system integration in launch vehicle domain. Of course, with colleagues HAL, we are going to do the PSLV system integration. In terms of satellite also, we are scaling up from subsystems to system to complete bus structure and power management system. In terms of midstream, we have been able to establish a lot of ground systems and radar communication, navigation, and GSATs on turnkey basis. And of course, in downstream, L&T, along with its group companies, have been establishing smart cities and other smart solutions by using space tech and data. Going forward, we look at creating an end-to-end capability across the space domain, in all the streams of upstream, midstream, and downstream. We do make serious commitments to the G20's theme, One Earth, One Family, One Future. We are looking at space as a serious economic opportunity. We have made investments in high-tech manufacturing capabilities and skill sets in design and testing. We take the responsibility of upholding the values of the country as well as the global ESG standards, and of course, take the responsibility to grow the space sector in India and around. And certainly, we do believe that it's through alliances that great things can be achieved. And L&T partners with domestic, global, governmental, private, startups, and to build and grow the space economy in a collective manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now from Lakshmi Machine Works Limited, may I invite Mr. Channa?
Very good afternoon. Thank you very much, ISRO and G20 members, inviting us for our presentation. Lakshmi Machine Works, based out of Coimbatore. We are into composites, metallics. We have the machine shop on composites, machines, sheet metal, special process, and assemblies. This is just an overview of LMW. We are a $500 million company, and Aerospace division is a part of it. We are already delivering the green parts from our facility. We have installed 50 solar and wind mill with 48 megabytes, so we're already supplying the green energy parts. Glimpse of composite facility. You see all the facilities are being available at our shop, right from cold storage to C-scan, the newest machine we have, hot air oven, and also the clean rooms. The largest clean room we have to accommodate large launch vehicle parts, and largest autoclave we have, which is around 6 meter length and 4 meter dia. So accommodate major of the curing processes, including the hot air oven. You can see the entity facility. We have all, as I mentioned, C-scan with the largest 7 meter, and all the facilities on sonar test, A-scan, and bond tester as well. We're proud to say that we have created the Center of Excellence for Payload Fairing in India. We are manufacturing various payload fairing today. If you can see, our largest is around 10 meter height. The second was 3 meter height. So we will be the largest payload fairing manufacturer for various companies. Proud to say to contribution for ISRO as well, as I mentioned, including payload fairing, we are supporting the equipment-based route and also on the antenna structures, adapters. Some of the other programs we do with composites on the engine side, we have on the acoustic door panels, helicopter parts, radars, and also on the cowling parts for helicopter. We are also into the aerostructures. You can see the large parts of structures, including some of the space program and also on the wing parts. We do manufacture and also process at our facility and also assemble it. So we have a one-stop solution at our Composite facility. As I mentioned, on the capability of engine parts, we do various parts, as I displayed over here, right from large 1.5 meters dia rings to various casings and the turbine parts as well. We have the special process facility to accommodate all the parts over here. We do processing and also on the requirement of painting, NDT, passivation. We are also in the assemblies of some of the structural parts of aircrafts and also on the, it's in military aircrafts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's now about 4 o'clock. It is 4 o'clock now. We'll take a very short 10-minute energizing break. We've got tea, coffee lined up for you on either sides of this room. I request you to please get a cup of tea, coffee, but come back at 4:10 because 10 minutes is all we have. We have a lot of more presentations. We are at the 23rd one right now. We have 49 total presentations. So I'm going to request you to please come back in a few minutes before 10 minutes finish. So I invite you to please do join us for tea, coffee on the other sides of this room in the wings, and please come back in 10 minutes. You could bring along your tea, coffee cups. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. After this, of course, for those of you, our participants, we have Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, Midhani, Centum Electronics, OneWeb India, and Anant Technologies. Those are the next 6 presenters. And thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, I will be announcing the others to come join us closer to the podium. So thank you once again. Please take this energizing 10-minute break only and come back a little before, a couple seconds before 4:10. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please invite all of you to kindly take your seats. We have to now begin with the rest of the presentations. I request you all to please come and take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you to please be seated. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the announcement to conclude the tea-coffee break. As I said earlier, this was going to be a very short, energizing tea-coffee break. I invite you to please take seats. Thank you very much. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. So ladies and gentlemen, we have to now begin. May I request you to kindly take seats now. And I have to invite our next presenter. So may I request you all to please be seated. Please take seats, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, I'll go through the order. As you know that we have finished 23 presentations so far. We have 25 and 25 more to go. We also have 2 extra presentations, ladies and gentlemen. I request you to please join us back in the room and take seats. We will be starting this segment with Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, followed by Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, CMTI, Midhani, Centum Electronics Private Limited, OneWeb India Private Limited, Anant Technologies Private Limited. After that, we have Skyroot Aerospace Private Limited, and then Bellatrix Aerospace Private Limited. I request the esteemed presenters, the delegates from Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, CMTI, Midhani, Centum Electronics, and OneWeb India Private Limited to please stay close to the podium. We're going to be inviting you now, and I invite all of you to please take seats. And now may I invite Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited to kindly join us at the podium for their presentation. Dr. Satpathy, ladies and gentlemen, from Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited is going to be making his presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving us opportunity to speak here. And I represent BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. It's a power plant manufacturer company. We are specialized in thermal, nuclear, hydro, and solar power plants, among others. And our interaction with ISRO for almost now 2.5 decades. And we have mainly focused on 2 major products because we are in the power sectors, so we also provide power to the satellites. Now, as you know, when the satellite goes into the space, its main and only source of energy, the sun. Now, the sun's energy is captured by the solar panels. And these solar panels consist of solar cells, which are basically multi-junction solar cells, which are basically triple junction solar cells or multi-junction solar cells with gallium arsenide kind of materials. And these are all made into the forms of panels. And you can see the panel which is there on the left-hand side. And we can able to make maximum up to 6.93 square meters of the panels. And it has all been used in the ISRO satellites which have been launched as of now. We also make batteries. These are the once the power from the sun is captured by the solar panels, it goes into the battery to store it there. And then this battery energy will be used when the eclipse times comes. And BHEL ISRO has been working together since 2002 on making the batteries. We started the nickel cadmium and nickel hydrogen batteries. And from 2010 onwards, we have been making lithium-ion batteries. As of now, we have made 107 batteries and supplied to ISRO, and including 82 batteries of lithium-ion.
And the battery which is being used for many of their satellite applications, including the Chandrayaan-3, which is going to be launched week from now. Besides the the panels and batteries, we have also gone to backward integration. We have gone to their sister unit Vikram Sarabhai Space Center and acquired the technology of lithium-ion cell manufacturing. And this technology, it is an indigenous technology developed by VSSC, and we have taken the technology and established the process and established the product and qualified the product for space applications. So we are the first company beyond ISRO is to produce the space grade batteries or the space grade cells in India. And so we will be very happy. And besides the ISRO customer, we are started catering to the non-ISRO customers. One of our major customer right now is Dhruv Aerospace. We have been supplying the space grade panels to them. And I invite other people, other startup companies all over the world, if anybody interested to take our assistance from BHEL through InSpace, we can able to help you in this endeavors also. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to speak in front of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Satpathy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, from Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, CMTI, may I invite Mr. Mohan Raj.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a big thank you for the opportunity to brief about Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, or CMTI for short. CMTI is a R&D institute located in Bangalore, and we operate under the administrative control of Ministry of Heavy Industry, and our domain expertise is in the manufacturing technology. And what we do is help the Indian industries. We collaborate with the Indian industries to resolve technology gaps in their area of operation, and then also come up with technology solutions for them, which they can commercialize. A brief canvas of our operation is depicted here. Mainly about our area of operation is mainly about advanced manufacturing technology, which includes, apart from complex manufacturing, micro and nano manufacturing, digital manufacturing, additive manufacturing, smart manufacturing, and so on. We also have a host of laboratories, state-of-the-art laboratories at CMTI, which provide services to industries in the area of sensors and vision. It could be in the area of hydraulics, etc. One of the main areas of our services to the industry is about special product development. And in this regard, I would like to brief you about the product that we've been supplying to ISRO for the past 20 years, and this is the vertical planetary mixer for propellant processing. And we have the technology for sizes from 250 liters, 250 kg to about 10 tons. Currently, we are building the 10-ton capacity vertical planetary mixer for ISRO, and shortly it should be in service. Apart from this, we also make continuous mixers, which we supply for the same purpose, for the manufacture of propellant. And these we have in the pilot capacities of 30 kg per hour. And apart from this, for the space program, we also supply diamond turning machines and hard turning machines, which we use to make space mirrors. So these are a sample of some of the products that we have supplied to the space program so far. So aside from the products, we also have excellent labs, state-of-the-art labs, which I was mentioning earlier. That is about the sensors and vision technology. We also have labs for the smart manufacturing and then the nano manufacturing. I invite all the space industries here, present here, to come visit CMTI so that you are aware of the facilities available in Bangalore and probably could be used for your own manufacturing purposes. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. And from Midhani, may I invite Mr. P. Babu.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm from Midhani. Midhani is a
public sector enterprises under Ministry of Defense. This is a 50 years old company. And last 40 years, we are manufacturing and supplying special metals and alloys. Mainly, we are the only manufacturer in India titanium alloys and major manufacturer nickel alloys. And we manufacture special metals and alloys and supplying to mainly space, defense, nuclear and commercial sector. These are the major strategic program Midani supplies. So presently we have two places. Main place at Hyderabad, Telangana state, and one more plant we have at Rohtak near Delhi, Haryana, where we manufacture armor product. We manufacture, these are the major category of alloys, super alloys, titanium alloys and special steel. And we have a different type of melting facilities like primary melting, secondary melting. That includes vacuum induction melting, vacuum arc remelting, electro slag remelting. These are the specialized melting process used to manufacture special metals and alloys which can be used in a critical and strategic application. This is the dedicated titanium manufacturing facility we have from titanium sponge. Then the ingot is made from there. Then we go for forging, hot rolling, cold rolling, wire drawing, white plate and casting manufacturing, all the facility we are having. These are the two hydraulic forge press we have, 1500 ton and 6500 ton. And hot rolling facility we are having to make bars, rounds and flats. And cold rolling also we can make up to 0.5 millimeter thickness. And we have a dedicated investment casting facility where we made all the castings required by space. And last 4 decades we are supporting space in supplying special steel like maraging steel and investment casting, plates, rings. And we also make fasteners and bio implants. Armoring plant, dedicated one, and whatever personal armoring, vehicle armoring we make. And apart from space, means we are supporting to the Army, Air Force, nuclear power plants and other strategic sector. We have a dedicated facility for chemical, mechanical, all the testing facility in-house. The testing facility included immersion ultrasonic testing, phased array ultrasonic testing, and for X-ray investment casting testing all we can do. We have got all this accreditation, and we have a 300 kg skull melting furnace which can manufacture titanium casting weighing up to 200 kg, and we got spring mill and fasteners of course. Now presently we made one white plate mill which can manufacture 3 meter width and 15 meter length. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. From Centum Electronics Private Limited, we have Mr. Vinod. So green button to go ahead.
Green.
Presentation which is short. One second.
Good evening. Thank you, G20 SELM organizers, for giving me an opportunity to present about Centum space journey, and also thank you for enabling some of the delegates to make a visit to Centum industry and understand a typical case study of an Indian industry groomed by ISRO. Quickly, Centum has been a 30-year-old company. Our space journey has been about 23 years out of those 30. We are an Indian multinational company that way, with established footprints in different parts of Europe, doing high reliability, high technology. And the space journey basically started catering to various customers, primarily ISRO in India, but these are list of our customers. And to this, we are all now latest is we are partnering with Indra of Spain on the space radar opportunity. These are our key customers. And we have been working with Indian Space Research Organization since 2000, and the journey is something like this. And if you see it from the left bottom, from a typical component to right up to payload modules and subsystems, that has been the progression. An excellent case of how ISRO has taught us handheld and then typical Indian industry to move from components to modules to subsystems to systems with multiple domains starting from analog, power, digital, and today everything is multidisciplinary. And also the technology platforms have increased right from microelectronics to box assemblies to RF subsystems, various technologies which are otherwise used in latest upstream space technology is something what you will be able to see. And all of this has been done in turnkey mode where we design, we deliver, we buy the components. We're also working right now on the new space area where there is a paradigm shift happening in various domains, right from selection of components to the designs to the speed versus the cost effectiveness. And that is something which we are parallelly working in parallel with the traditional space domain. The subsystems, this is how the payloads have been. Payloads comprising of electronic warfare, mini synthetic aperture radar right up to Ku band, onboard computers, and the hyperspectral electronics for the hyperspectral payload camera. This is how the progression has been. The natural step is to move towards the small satellites. That's the need of the hour as far as Indian ecosystem is concerned, and Centum is no exception, and we are getting ready to develop and manufacture the satellites, hopefully with ISRO, with various other customers, various other end users. That has been the trend. So net, 22 years of credible space history, build to spec, build to print, both modes of engagement. We have about 80% of it is export, so there is a good amount of national, international domain expertise, strong design, engineering, and manufacturing infrastructure meeting global and Indian space standards. That is Centum for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, before I invite the next presenter, the next order will be Anant Technologies Private Limited. I request you to please stay closer to the podium. Skyroot Aerospace Private Limited, Bellatrix Aerospace Private Limited, Hughes Communications India, and Inox India Limited. And with that, let me now invite from OneWeb India Private Limited, Ms. Nishtha Kapoor.
Introducing OneWeb, the global low Earth orbit satellite communications specialist, uniquely equipped to support government operations anywhere in the world, even in the most austere and remote operating environments. Part owned by His Majesty's government and supported by international enterprise, OneWeb combines extensive satellite access and expansive terrestrial capacity to deliver secure, resilient, and multi-domain communications. OneWeb's global connectivity platform features 648 low Earth orbit satellites, which provide coverage across 99.7% of the planet. Our modern network architecture offers state-of-the-art cyber resilience and redundancy to ensure high availability of services wherever they are required. Customers benefit from high data throughput up to 195 megabits per second and latency levels as low as 70 milliseconds, ensuring near real-time command and control, reduced response times, and improved decision-making at the tactical edge. Customers connect to OneWeb's LEO constellation using a family of user terminals which ensure fixed, on-the-pause, and on-the-move communications even at high speeds. User terminals can be installed on buildings and on board ground, maritime, and airborne platforms, including UAVs, enabling secure and rapid data transfer and automation through machine learning and AI applications. Potential customers include first responders, armed forces, and other government agencies. End users will soon benefit from the ability to integrate digital age technologies, including cloud computing and the Internet of Things. Choose OneWeb for rapidly deployable, real-time connectivity where and when it matters most.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is OneWeb for you and for the world. It's an honor to present an organization which is in the journey of transforming the humanity. Who are we? We are a constellation of 648 satellites, 40 gateways, which we build and own. We have variety of terminals from the best of the industry, and we offer high-speed, low latency, less than 100 milliseconds. With this, we offer an enterprise-grade, end-to-end managed, and truly global satellite connectivity services. Is this something an engineering brain fancy? No, we are live in Alaska, Europe, and Canada. And we have a paid customer who are very happily using our services. So while we are, still connecting our customers and we have started gearing up for Gen 2, so please look at this, any square which you fit in and you think that you can collaborate with us, please contact. So while in the start I said, and I just end with this, that we are in the journey of transforming the humanity, and why I say that? Because for every person connected, there is one not connected. For every school connected, there are hundreds which are not connected. For every disaster happened, there were chances that for a quick and a better response. For every security breach happened at the border, there was a soldier life could have been saved. And for every farmer or a fisherman who failed to predict the weather, they could have achieved more. And last but not the least, for every life we have lost because there was no doctor in the village, here we as a privileged part of the society owe back to the society and to the humanity. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much, madam. And with that, I may invite from Anant Technologies Private Limited, Mr. S. Sagar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll quickly explain about Anand's space sector activities. Anand started in 1992 with a vision to indigenize systems for aerospace and defense applications. And we are 100% Indian owned and AS9100D certified. So Anand has been associated with ISRO for the last 3 decades in design, development, manufacture of systems for satellites, launch vehicles, and payload applications. We are also into geospatial services where we use satellite imagery for different applications like disaster management, urban planning, socio-economic surveys, etc. And Anand also is part of AIT of spacecraft and launch vehicles. And we have contributed so far to 94 satellites and 74 launch vehicles. And we have facilities in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Trivandrum with a technical manpower of 1,600 plus people. And we are on the verge of becoming a satellite operator, both in electro-optic side and Satcom domain. So these are our satellite integration facilities spread across 900 square meters. It's first of its kind in private segment in India with all associated labs. Apart from that, we also have production facilities like ISO Class 7 and Class 8 clean rooms for avionics manufacturing and with all the test equipments. We also have ESS test facilities like vibration, thermo-vacuum, thermal cycling, etc. And we're also supplying solar array deployment mechanisms, and for that we have entire equipment. So these are few of the subsystems you can see on controls, communication side, telemetry and telecommand side, sensors, solar panels, the deployment mechanisms, power systems. These are all done in end-to-end mode where we buy all the material and then assemble it, test it, and straight away we'll be handing over to AIT. And apart from that, we are also into AIT of spacecrafts like ground checkout testing and solar deployment mechanism, as I mentioned, and spacecraft alignment activities. Presently, these activities we are carrying out in ISRO's campus. And on the other side, from our Thiruvananthapuram office, we are supporting ISRO for their avionics systems for launch vehicles like GSLV, PSLV, etc. And we are proud partner for PSLV's integration, stage integration and harnessing for the last 5 PSLVs, C51 to 55. These are the PSLV stage integration pictures. And this is about our own small satellite constellation called Anant Third Eye. Out of that, first satellite is going to be launched by this year end. And in this process, we are also indigenizing a lot of systems like solar panels, power systems, and battery, etc. And for the critical systems like AOCE, reaction wheels, etc. We are seeking support, TOT support from ISRO through InSpace. Yeah, last but not the least, we are also supporting startups in terms of providing manufacturing and testing support. So we enable, you disrupt is our tagline for startups. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was Anant Technologies Limited. And with that, may I invite from Skyroot Aerospace Private Limited, Mr. Sirish. I would also request the esteemed delegate from Hughes Communications to please be here closer to the podium. All right. Green button to go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And so Skyroot is one of the leading private space launch vehicle company, and we are on a mission to make launch space access more affordable, reliable, and on demand. So we are the first space company to launch a rocket into the space from the entire South Asia. And so far we have raised 66 million capital, and thanks to our investors who have trusted us into this endeavor, and winner of 2 prestigious national awards. And currently we are a team of more than 240 people. And this is our leadership and core team. Pawan and Bharat are the founders of Skyroot Aerospace, and both of them have previously worked with ISRO. And then we have Gnana Gandhi, Ishwaran, and Selo Raju sir. Like all of them are veterans of space industry. Previously they worked with ISRO, and later they joined us. And then we have Kishore, then Sirish, it's me, and Dr. Kiran, Kunal, and Sanjeev. These are the core team of Skyroot Aerospace. And this is our journey so far. We started in 2018, and initial years, 2019 and 20, we spent most of our time into manufacturing and design. And 2021, we started, testing our systems and everything. And 2022, we made our first launch, Vikram S. And with this, we created a history. Being a private company, we successfully made it in our first attempt from the entire South Asia. And with this, we validated many of our technologies. And this year, 2023, we are looking forward to have our orbital launch by the end of this year. And these are the technologies like what we have developed, the cryogenic propulsion. So we call this as the 1 series. So entire technology, like the engines have been 3D printed, and we use LNG locks as a propulsion for this one. And even the mobile test facility for this testing the cryogenic engines is being developed in-house. And this is the liquid propulsion. And again, the whole engine is been 3D printed for this one. And we use the storable propellants here, MMH and 204. And this would be going into our Vikram 1 launch vehicle. And this is the solid propulsion where most of our launch vehicles are propelled with the 3 stages. So you can see here the whole structure is being developed in the composite facilities. And this is towards the Vikram S, what we have launched. The first one, the first picture, what you can see is during the launch. And second one is from the space, and the third one is after returning from the space. And these are the fleet of our launch vehicles. Vikram 1, which we have already launched last year, that is of 83 kgs payload. And Vikram 1 can carry 480 kilograms to the low Earth orbit, and 290 kilograms to the SSPO. Whereas Vikram 2 and Vikram 3 can carry 595 and 815 kilograms respectively to the low Earth orbit. And all these launch vehicles have been built on upgradable architecture, so we can change the systems from Vikram 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, and very minimum infrastructure which is required for integration of them. We can integrate the whole launch vehicle within 72 hours, and also requires minimum facilities to launch them. And this is the laurels from the extensive global coverage for our Vikram S launch. And these are the services what we offer. We provide the dedicated launches, and then custom orbits, ride share, and constellation rollouts. Along with this, we also provide the auxiliary service such as technical interface control and environmental testing, separation systems, and like many other things. And we launch from the Sriharikota, and also the upcoming launch pad from Kulshekarapatnam down south. So this is pretty much about Skyroot, and thank you for attention.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, from Bellatrix Aerospace, may I invite Mr. Yashas. So green button to go ahead and red to go behind.
Good evening, everyone. Bellatrix Aerospace is a Bangalore-based space logistics company, and we specialize in different kinds of propulsion technologies to help satellites move in orbit. And as you can see here, we have indigenously developed a range of products, and these products are designed to cater to the requirements of all kinds of satellites and various complex mission requirements. So starting from the smallest satellites, we have a thruster called the fingernail thruster. We have called it the fingernail thruster because it's that small and can sit on your fingernail. And going up, we have different kinds of electric propulsion as well as green high-performance propulsion systems. And we cover the entire range of satellites going all the way up to about 5-ton class of satellites. And one of the main advantages of working with us is the fact that if you compare our specifications and our products with those that are available in the market, there are various studies that we have conducted and various performance parameters we have optimized, because of which we are able to achieve one of the best performance out there in the market. And in terms of lead times and the cost, vertical integration has really helped us bring down both the lead times and cost of our products. So that is a major advantage that we bring in. And recently, with the help of ISRO and InSpace, we were able to have our first space qualification mission, and this was for a Hall effect thruster. It was in April 2023 on board a PSLV POEM mission. And I think the opportunity that we see here is in terms of our ability to customize the products for your mission requirements. So if there are certain requirements where the complexities are there and there are no ready products available, we are completely flexible to take up customizations for there. And our team also comes with expertise in terms of mission design and optimization, and we also do orbital transfer vehicles for satellites. So with that experience, I think we can really help you choose the right product, and we have the entire range of products out there, so we can give you optimal solutions. So with that, I'd like to conclude my 2-minute talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go on to Hughes Communications India, and may I invite Mr. Shivaji Chatterjee to please make his presentation.
Thank you so much. And the countdown clock is quite apt for a space event. So with that, let's just go. So definitely, I think this is a busy slide, but Hughes is a global company. We completed 50 years last year, and we are a $2 billion company. Apart from the satellites that we launch and the technologies that we provide, I think the key element is being able to actually provide service on the ground everywhere across the world to consumers, to businesses, to government, to defense, on the move, and really make a difference in the common man's life. When we come to the story about India, which is nearly 30 years since we were the first Satcom licensee in the country, and since then we've been running the service with over 200,000 sites. Outside of the US, we are the largest Satcom service provider anywhere in the world. You can look at the portfolio of brands which we serve. It's the top corporates, and I think it's really about providing service in every nook and corner of the country. When you look at the number of sites, it's servicing every zip code and really providing connectivity where none other exists. Many different applications we've heard about in space, but this is actually, if you look at every petrol pump in India, every ATM in the country, half the bank branches in the country, every movie and theater in the country, oil and gas rigs, the entire Navy, Army networks, they're all provided and connected by Hughes. And that's really the end-to-end ecosystem that we provide. In India, we are a joint venture with Bharti Airtel, which is India's leading telecom company, and we really truly look to provide a service which makes a difference. With ISRO, we have a very close engagement. We started our service with ISRO satellites INSAT-2 series in 1995, and when ISRO launched its HTS satellites, we were the first to adopt it, both for the BharatNet project, which connects all the villages, as well as our own HTS network all over the country. We also believe very strongly in Make in India, and we built a whole portfolio of products, both Satcom and networking. And in partnership with OneWeb, which Nishta spoke about, we are bringing a service which is transformational, really providing a fiber and terrestrial-like experience with satellite. Lastly, I think Satcom plays a dear role in mobility, defense, national security, disaster management. And these are not just jargons, we've been running it, and I think the entire economy and our future is connected and powered by Hughes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And before I invite our next speaker, may I request esteemed delegates from Thales India, Azista BST Aerospace, Safran Timing Technologies, Astra Microwave Products, and Pixel Space Technologies to please be close to the podium. And from Inox India Limited, we have Mr. Deepak Acharya.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Deepak Acharya from Inox India, a part of Inox group of companies. We are into various product range. We have industrial oxygen or Inox AP as our gas business. We are into Inox India, which is in the cryogenic engineering, and Inox Leisure into multiplexes all over India. So we have a revenue of around 1,000 crores or 125 million dollars. Around 20,000 tanks we have produced in last 30 years. And we produce or we manufacture around 13,500 tons of stainless steel products every year. We have more than 900 employees. Out of that, around 300 are engineers who are directly working on various projects. We have 40% of our products are exported to the various countries. We have our presence in more than 100 countries all over the world. We are on 130,000 total area, out of which covered area is around 65,600 square meter. So on our contribution to ISRO, I am very proud to tell you that we supply turnkey installation for cryogenic propellant filling and servicing facility and gas storage service facility at Sriharikota way back in 1999 and 2004. The second launch pad, whatever the launches you are seeing, are taking place from this launch pad. We recently supplied a 6.5 meter diameter thermo vacuum chamber for satellite testing at ISRO SAC Center, where the space conditions are simulated on Earth in this vacuum chamber. We are working with ITER project for supply of multi-core cryolines. We also supplied various high pressure tanks such as catch tanks or run tanks up to the pressure of 360 bar for storage of oxygen and hydrogen. Recently we have manufactured a cryostat for MRI superconducting magnet along with the support of Ministry of Health Department of India, and there is a lot of demand in India for such type of 1.5 Tesla cryostats. We have produced cold wall box for the supercritical helium equipments. We are ESPN certified pressure vessel manufacturer for nuclear applications. We also supplied the first hydrogen tank to ISRO way back in 1999. So we are into the three spaces like hydrogen, LNG, and fusion. So we offer end-to-end solution for liquid hydrogen storage, transportation, and small to big size as required. Few of the tanks we recently supplied to South Korea, And Inox is also a pioneer in the marine industry, especially for LNG infrastructure. And we have supplied a lot of cryolines to the ITER project, which is one of the unique in India, and very few manufacturers for India were qualified for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So that was Inox. And now from Thales, India. Mr. Anurag Garg from Thales, India is going to be making his presentation now, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you much, and it's a pleasure to be here. So as Vincenzo, my colleague, has spoken about Thales Alenia Aerospace, I'll take this moment to brief you about Thales Group. We are an 18 billion euro global company focusing on aerospace and defense, civil aviation, and digital identity and security. We have been present in India for the last 70 years. We are part of the Rafale team, supplying the key electronic components that go into the fighter jet. And we are about 2,000 people working in India, 1,400 engineers, 2 JVs, and 70 plus suppliers. So as a start, I would say that as Thales Group and as Thales Alenia Aerospace, we are very much part of the Indian fabric and really committed to the commitment of Make in India. Just a quick synopsis of Thales Alenia Aerospace, which is the space division, a joint venture with Leonardo. It's a 2.2 billion euro company, about 8,500 employees and 18 sites. And what I want to really focus on is really the coverage that we have across domains of telecom, observation, navigation, and exploration, and working with various agencies, be it commercial customers, be it defense, or various space agencies across the world. Like, as you know, except launch, we are into all spaces. We've already spoken about that, but I just want to go through the various elements, and when we are looking at securing and defending, whether it's a context of looking at our security at the borders, looking at high revisit, Earth observation, which is very critical to have real-time situational awareness, we're into that. Maritime surveillance is key because of India's interest in the Indian Ocean region, where you require high swath, good resolution images. So that's an area that we can come into. Notwithstanding the MIL Satcom area, which will become more and more complex and important as we go forward with the necessary cybersecurity. So that's really the defense part. Space to connect, where the whole telecom element comes in, where you need more and more high throughput, flexible, software-defined satellites to really manage the transition between DTH and broadband, and really flexible approach. So we are into that. Observe and protect, looking at the climate change and really the diversity of the country like India, where we need to really monitor the weather, real agricultural output, and a lot of that will depend on how much we rely on space and space-based applications to be able to augment our intelligence and our ability to take action on ground. To explore, we are very much working very closely with ISRO and NSIL to see that how we can be part of the exploration journey of the Indian Space Agency and part of the human space flight. There are a lot of areas that we are working in. Travel and navigate, while India is really working on the regional navigation system, we have solutions for that. Since time is low, I just want to conclude it with this slide. Our approach towards India is very much long-term, supported by an ongoing dialogue between India and France from a G2G standpoint. We are really looking forward to working with the strategic users, with enterprise users on concrete opportunities behind which then we are willing to invest, ready to collaborate with our partners, with our prime partners, supply chain partners going ahead. And like I said, building upon the 70 years of partnership that we have in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now from Azista BST Aerospace, may I invite Mr. Sunil.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sunil Indurthi, Director of Azista Industries and Azista BST Aerospace. So we've been manufacturing satellite communication subsystems for about 8 years, and about 4 years ago we diversified into development and manufacturing of complete small satellites through Azista BST Aerospace. Towards this effort, we've developed a 50 kg and 100 kg satellite platform, and today we operate India's largest small satellite manufacturing facility. To give you some information about this facility, it's about 50,000 square feet in area and about 150 employees, out of which about 35,000 square feet is in clean rooms. And this facility is capable of churning out about 100 satellites a year, and About 70% of all the subsystems are manufactured in-house. That is one of our strong suits. We are vertically integrated, and we've already produced some of our subsystems in large numbers, like the reaction wheels. We produce about 50 of them, and one of our key strengths is in our ability to productionize the subsystems, that is in automation of testing as well as in streamlining the production operations. About 3 weeks ago, we launched our first satellite, which is a 4.5 meter resolution, 60 kilometer swath payload. And the satellite LEOPS are currently ongoing, and the satellite is in great health, and we're going to start taking imagery very shortly. So again, as I said, we've already built the capability to produce these satellites in numbers. So in the next 1 year, we are actually having the capacity to produce about 10 of these 4.5 meter resolution satellites. These are a couple of our upcoming missions. The first is Azista 60 degree. 60 degree because the satellite does not have to tilt 30 degrees either way. You know, it just has to look downwards nadir, and then it takes a swath of about 600 kilometers with 5 meter resolution. It's a completely indigenous payload, designed, developed, and the bus is also designed, developed in India. And the next one is the Azista Fine View, which is a sub-meter imaging satellite with about 0.52 meter in super resolution, about 10 kilometer swath. Even these platforms are designed for mass production, and we'll be flying them in the last quarter of 24. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sunil. And then I'd like to now call on Safran Timing Technologies, Mr. Ashrit.
Greens for the next one. Greetings of the day, one and all. I'm Ashrit Patil from Earth, Space and Beyond, representative for Safran Timing Tech, Switzerland. So I thank Team ISRO to have given me this opportunity to participate in this prestigious G20 SELM meeting. Thank you very much. Safran Timing Tech, located in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, are the world leaders in precision timing, frequency, and navigation for space and defense applications. We were earlier known by the name Spectrotime Orolia, Switzerland. So, this slide shows a broad classification of the space products that we have. In the column 1, we have the space OCXOs. In the column 2, we have the space atomic clocks, which is the rubidium-based, as well as the passive hydrogen and active hydrogen masers. And on the column 3, you have the space atomic clocks, which are almost ready. And also, I would like to add another column, which is not shown here, which is the active hydrogen masers for ground stations in the applications such as VLBI, that is very long baseline interferometry, deep space tracking and navigation, and also some applications such as SKA, which is square kilometer array, to which all of which we have supplied our active hydrogen masers. Now, in space OCXOs, the first column, we have the master oscillator and the ultra low noise master oscillator, which is the ULNMO. We have supplied over 400 flight units of these master oscillators and ULNMO versions that include are supplied to ISRO's Gagan payload, IRNSS programs, and several more. Coming to the space atomic clocks, in the second column, our space RAFs, which is the Rubidium Atomic Frequency Standards, is our ultra-high performance workhorse and highly popular in the field of timing and navigation satellite systems. We have supplied these to our ISRO's IRNSS programs, ESA's Galileo, and many other space programs globally. It weighs only about 3.3 kilo and a stability class of 510-14, being one of the best space clocks in the world today. We have passive hydrogen masers for space as well, which are already supplied to Galileo. It weighs about 18 kilos. Yes, they are quite heavy, but it is 10 times more accurate than even the rubidium atomic standards for space. And the stability class of about 810-15 or less than 110-14. Okay, MRO 50 in the third column is the mini rubidium oscillator, which is about the size of 5 centimeter by 2 centimeter. This is how it looks. This is the space clock. It's weighing 75 grams and has broad applications in low Earth orbit, for space and airborne avionics, submarine, underwater applications, and UAV and UGS systems. Next, we have mini RAVs, which you can see in the third column bottom. It's just 390 grams, which is 10 times lower than the existing rubidium atomic frequency standards. And it has the stability class of 210-13. And it has a lot of space applications in lunar missions, LEO, and navigation. All of the top space products are having deep space heritage. To name a few, we have supplied to ISRO, ESA, JAXA, DLR, that's German Space, Airbus, Thales Alenia Space, and several more. So, in this slide, we have already mentioned, as in the previous, it's the mass of the space clocks and its stability class. And we have, as you can see, the programs to which we are supplied, that includes the harnesses, Galileo, Cosmos SkyMed, Connect, SpainSat, GSAT, and also ACES. The ACES is the atomic clock ensemble for space in the International Space Station. The product capacity is about 100 FM per year and 30 FM per year, and the masers are about 24 FM per year. And by this, I thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to present to you all. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going on to Pixel Space Technologies. And before I invite Ms. Neerja, may I also request Anabon Limited, Digantra Research and Technologies, Manastu Space, MapMy India, MQS Technologies Private Limited, and SkyServe to please stay closer to the podium. And now we have Ms. Neerja from Pixel Space Technologies. My apologies. Before that, we have Astra Microwave Products, Mr. Chandrakant. My apologies. So green button to go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So we are Astra Microwave, and I would like to cover a few such slides on our contribution in the space segment and our capabilities. So we are a more than 30-year-old company, and we are into design, development, manufacturing of products for defense, aerospace, and space segment. We have developed payload subsystems and modules to ISRO for the past 2 decades. Our heritage, almost all the SAR payloads, we have been part of it. And in addition to that, all the communication satellites, many of them, we have been supporting ISRO in all the making these payloads. So the products include from UHF to K-band, so all type of RF TR modules and the converters and a lot of stuff like all the programs also I have mentioned, like drivers and the LNAs and the beacon sources, transmitters, heterodyne receivers for the wideband quad super heterodyne receivers. So all type of for the SAR and be it the ELINT application or the communication applications, we have been part of it. And so we look forward to deliver similar subsystems and modules to all the payload manufacturers, and we would also like to add value in the up the value chain. We are also in the space debris tracking. We have supplied almost 5,000 plus TR modules in the MOTR radar, which is in the Sriharikota. Mobile MOTR also we are part of it, and some of the strategic applications with DRDO, we have supplied all the TR modules, antenna element, and radomes. We have this test facilities including the near field test range, open air test range, the far field MIMC, HALT, HAS chambers, the multi-layer antenna assembly. We have the thermovac facilities, environment facilities, the laser welding machines. So all the facilities we have in-house. So I'm approaching both the Indian and the global industry to look at our facility and make use of them and choose us as your partner in realizing the products. In addition, we also build the MMIC products. We have a fabless facility. So we design all the MMICs for the radars and the EW. We have up to 50 gigahertz, we have designed the components, including the wideband. Some of them to name, I can say, like the Uttam radar MMICs we have designed. The Uttam radar hardware is being supplied by us. Roadmap was space segment, because we would like to develop the complete SAR payload, the small satellite integrations. We have this facility for both ELINT and SAR and communication. We are working with Radiophysica for the long-range space debris radar. Thank you. This is my contact, so can please get in touch with me for your requirements. Thanks.
So that was Astra Microwave Products, Mr. Chandrakant. Thank you. Now from Pixel Space Technologies, we have Ms. Neerja. After that, we have Anna Bond. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Pixel Space.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name's Neerja. I'm representing Pixel Space today. So we are a space data startup, and we're building the world's first and highest resolution hyperspectral commercial imaging satellites, as well as analytical tools to mine insight from that data. The aim is to be able to build a global health monitor for the planet by 2025, so that we can help businesses, researchers, policymakers, government entities detect, monitor, and predict what's happening around us in a lot of detail across agriculture, mining, environment, and energy use cases. But why hyperspectral? So the multispectral satellites in space today capture images at a small number of discontinuous wavelengths. They do give more information than a normal RGB image, so you can look at basic crop health, basic pipeline maps, basic water bodies. But this information is not enough to help predict and mitigate underlying unseen problems, and that's why we're building Pixel. Pixel was started by Awais Ahmed and Kshitij Khandelwal in 2019, right out of college, to be able to build a global space data startup out of India, lead India's private space exploration journey, so to speak. Pixel's small hyperspectral satellites capture images at hundreds of wavelengths across the electromagnetic spectrum. We're aiming to create a constellation of hyperspectral satellites to be able to image every part of the Earth at a 24-hour revisit frequency. Both a hyperspectral constellation and the advanced data analytics platform will be able to increase the spectral resolution available by 50x and give more information compared to the multispectral satellites in space today. Along with this, we've also recently launched a beta version of Aurora. That's our highly intuitive AI-powered geospatial analysis platform. And the idea is that extracting insights from Earth observation data is usually fairly complex and tedious. And that's why with this platform, we want to be able to simplify that process of extracting applicable insights and also allow even those with less technical knowledge to understand the images. This platform is going to be rich with features, have a sandbox environment, and a full public version of Aurora will be launched later this year. Here's where we are now. If we talk about a flight path, we have 3 working satellites up in space that are beaming down images, giving us feedback. We have about 50+ customers across the planet, and our plan is that by end of 2024, we should have 6 more satellites that we're calling Fireflies up in space in the lower Earth orbit, and complete a constellation of 18 to 24 satellites by 2025. We've also just recently announced a Series B funding round, and we're now at a total venture funding of $71 million, which is the highest funded Indian space tech startup so far. And we're very, very fortunate to have been to have great investors like Lightspeed, Google, Radical Ventures, Accenture Ventures, and advisors like Preston Dunlap, Ryan Johnson, and Jordan Noon on our advisors. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Neerja. And now from Anabon Limited, Mr. Adi Narayanan. Welcome, sir. Green button to go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I take this opportunity to thank the Space Economy Leaders Meeting organizers for giving us an opportunity to make a small presentation about Anabond. Anabond is a company, it was founded in the year 1979 by Mr. J. Vijay Kumar, who was actually working in atomic energy. He has resigned the job and started this company for making adhesives and sealants for everyone. See, this is the range of products has been displayed. The first slide, it gives a range of products. This is going, our products are being used by even a common man to the space community. That is a specialty of this. any moving object, if you can think of in the world, it requires bonding, whatever it is, whether it is a metal to metal or metal to plastic or plastic to plastic. Lot of bonding technologies are being used. So Anabond bonds everything. That is the specialty of this. And in the adhesives technology, we are there in almost all chemistries. There is one particular chemistry called cyanoacrylates. This is product, I think most of the industries probably they would have used it. This bonds almost everything, almost I would say 99% of the substrates what you see in the world can be bonded to cyanoacrylates. Unfortunately, broken heart cannot be bonded using cyanoacrylates. In Anabond, we make products for bonding substrates, and we also provide service to the customers in such a way that they get bonded to Anabond very strongly. So we have very strong relationship with our customers, and they generally they don't leave us. We have very, very strong bonding with almost all the customers, whether it is a common man or it is a space community. Coming to the next slide, if you just see that, we are associating with ISRO and DRDO for the last 3 decades. And this company is led by a group of eminent scientists. And we have a specialized in-house facility, R&D facility, and which is actually approved by Department of Scientific and Research. It's a Government of India certified R&D department where all the products, whatever we sell in the market, they are all produced by us. We make the product in a small way, scale it up, and then we sell it to the market. Okay. And we are selling our products globally also. Okay, these are our milestones. We see that in 1982 we started selling our product to the automotive industries, then to railways, then to Indian Navy, then finally we started our products for the ISRO and DRDO in the 1990, then European market, then like that, slowly, finally we see that our products are being used by each and everybody, not only for space applications, even for the defense applications also, people use our products. Okay, and these are the products, various products going for our ISRO. In the case of ISRO, most of the products, though we have put about 35 plus products, many of the products are developed by ISRO. All the products for which we have acquired the technology, because they demonstrate the technology in a small scale, we have scaled up to pilot plant and then finally to the production level, and it is being supplied to ISRO for all their missions. And some of the products, as per their request, we have developed and we are supplying to them. Okay, and various applications are listed for this one. In case we would like to take this opportunity to invite any of the vertical industry partners to associate with Anabond, we are welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, we'll now go on to Digantara Research and Technologies. May I invite Mr. Shreyas to please make his presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shreyas Mirji. I am the head of business and strategy for Digantara. We are a space situational awareness company that is building end-to-end solution for space operations and space traffic management. What we do is we are building the fundamental infrastructure necessary for all of future space operations. Next page, please. Next page. So we are in space already. So we launched 2 missions to space, and we were one of the first companies to be authorized by in space to operate space assets. So we launched the world's first space-based weather monitor, one to low inclination orbit and one to SSO in January of 2023. Next place, please. Next slide, please. No, it's not working. Thank you. What we do, we are an end-to-end space situational awareness company. We are trying to solve the problem on 2 ends. On the upstream side, we are solving for the problem of data inconsistency and the problem of data quantity. Our systems are capable of tracking objects up to 1 centimeter in size, and we are also able to reduce this, the error in tracking measurements as well. Next page. And on the downstream side, what we do is we are developing more than 50 plus analytical products based on space situational awareness data that will enable for the complete space value chain, right from planning a satellite mission to all the way to end-of-life deorbiting. We are also working along different verticals, including defense, and also on the insurance, where we're looking at enabling the LEO economy by building insurance model that will enable a sustainable future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shreyas. And then we have, ladies and gentlemen, now Manastu Space, and Mr. Tushar Jadhav is going to be making a presentation. So I request you to use the green button.
Hello, we are Manastu Space, and we are on mission to save space industry with our agile, efficient, affordable propulsion system for satellites. So we founded by alumni from IIT Bombay and ex-DRDO scientists, and we live there in space. Currently, there are around 160 million small and big debris, and looking to grow us to as much as 100 billion by the end of this decade. And that becomes a big problem as the more and more number of satellites are planned every year, as much as 12,000 per year by 2029. And this is becoming a problem. Why? To save our satellites from this growing number of debris population, we need a propulsion system, and which is the challenges with the current systems are they're either very slow, or they're either toxic or inefficient, or they are very costly. And the way to solve this is using a green propulsion system that we are building. So what we are building new fuel for satellites, new engine to burn this fuel, and the new catalyst to start the combustion inside this engine. And our value proposition is a system that is faster, 20 times than the current electric propulsion, 50% more efficient, and as affordable as 60%, which can save satellites as much as 30%, and you have a satellite safe from the debris. So save money, save satellites is what is our building. After this, we believe the major problem that this industry is facing is that once the fuel of a satellite is over, the satellite is dead. So can we do the future services like in-space refueling service so that we can extend the life of a satellite and utilize and add the flexibility in the mission, as well as utilize our assets better, and the deorbiting of the satellite at the end of the life. So these are the service on top of the propulsion system is what we are building in future. Currently, we are looking for working with a satellites that is of around 100 to 500 kg weight. Around 57,000 of them are planned, and we believe that is a class of satellite which are growing in the large number because of the size and the weight. So we are looking for the companies who are building a satellites and the partners for the developing some of the services, and then looking for the future commercialization of the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jadhav. And now we have from MQS Technologies Private Limited, Mr. Kotnis.
Hi everyone. I'd first like to thank ISRO for this opportunity. MQS Technologies, we are a 29-year-old MSME that specializes in design and development of custom test and measurement solutions. Industrial radiography solutions is one of our key product lines. Till date, we've supplied close to 15 different type of systems to the ISRO group for various entities for qualification of different types of space hardware. And today, we are the only Indian company with capabilities to design and develop an indigenous computed tomography solution. And in recognition of this effort, we were recently awarded by FTCCI for our outstanding contributions in aerospace and defense as part of their Excellence Awards 2022. In terms of the industrial X-ray solutions, we operate from the low energy band to the high energy band. Speaking of the high energy solutions, these are tailor-made inspection solutions for qualification of rocket motors, boosters, and also the engines. Not only have we been able to supply these for film-based radiography of objects, but we have also been successful in implementing digital solutions with a high energy X-ray source. On the low energy spectrum, with industrial X-ray solutions ranging from 160 to 450 kV. Very interestingly, castings of Midhani, lithium-ion batteries of BHEL, Agnicool, Skyroot. These are some of the companies and products that we've supplied our X-ray solutions for. Our expertise with understanding the kind of requirements that go into qualification of space hardware gives us the ability to offer tailor-made solutions in the industrial X-ray space, and we invite industries that work in this segment to approach us for highly customized X-ray solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite our next speaker, may I also call upon Zovian Aerospace, Astrom Technologies, Sankhya Labs, Sai Pranav Industries, Dhruva Space and Data Pattern to please stay close to the podium. And may I invite Mr. Vinay from SkyServe High Space Technologies to make his presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, ISRO, for having us here as a part of SELM. My name is Vinay. I'm one of the co-founders of SkyServe. Before we get on to what we do here, we know you've got a lot of fatigue of presentation, so I just want to start with a simple analogy on the ground. As a part of our daily usage, when we go to a doctor, what we do is we go to an orthopedic and then we go say, we have a knee pain, and the doctor says, go get an X-ray. And then you go to get an X-ray, and the doctor gives a diagnosis, saying you don't have a ligament tear, probably you need to rest your knee, or you can take a rest, or he asks you saying everything's fine. Imagine a scenario where you don't need to pay for the X-ray, and the doctor gives you a diagnosis, saying your knee is okay, because there's a system in which he can predict what's wrong with your knee, and you get it in a seamless way. And that's pretty much what we set out to do in SkyServe. So what we're doing here is we are lowering the barriers for creating data products of Earth observation by making sure that these data sets are delivering as insights for geospatial developers with our edge computing solution. So largely when you look at information from the satellite does not know what applications are used for. The satellite does not have intelligence of what's required. And in that process, it captures a lot more area of interest images and starts downlinking that to the ground. However, when you look at it on the ground, the relevance is not there. That's why our platform helps users, that's as in geospatial developers, to build out these structures for their customers in a very quick and easy manner. So when you look at smart task imagery, we look at what's the band of interest, what's a AOI extraction, and what's a custom coverage. All these are done by us on board a satellite with our solution. And you don't need to worry about what's a minimum order quantity, and we also refine this with the issues of cloud as well. When we look at models on the edge, we look at spectral indices, we do segmentation, we do object detection and object classification. All these are done by us on board the satellite itself. So on the upcoming flights, we are doing about 5 missions in 2025, 2 more in 2023. We are covering multispectral, hyperspectral AIS and the sensors. We offer fused data inferencing for customers. We'd be happy to partner with satellite operators and deliver value for developers here. Thank you very much. You have a great day.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, may I invite from Zovian Aerospace, Mr. Raghav. Sir, green button to go ahead on your slides.
Okay, this is for go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Raghav from Zovian Aerospace. First of all, thanks for patiently staying here for so long. And so I represent Zovian Aerospace. So at Zovian Aerospace, we are developing a radio-based satellite constellation providing geo-intelligence and signal intelligence for Earth observations. So what Zovian Aerospace is doing? So we are an RF-based satellite where we are not making satellites in terms of getting data for images. So it's basically tracking the fleets for different industries. So RF-based signals are basically for like we have a radio signals and we have image-based systems. So we are basically into radio systems. So under radio systems, there are different industries which we are catering. So right from the entire value chain, from data collection to data integration to final data delivery are having through our own platform. So, so that own platform is called Skylobe. So Skylobe means collecting sky and globe together, so it becomes a Skylobe. So right now we are targeting 4 sectors basically, so which are basically Earth surface parameters, weather parameters, aviation and ADS-B parameters, and geointelligence parameters. So this is the size of our satellite, which is under 10 kilogram category, which is called as a nano satellite in itself. So these are some of the parameters which our single satellite is catering, like weather-related parameters, asset tracking parameters, signal intelligence parameters, and combining together 24/7 availability. So last but not the least, this is our platform called Skylobe. So under that, these all data sets will be delivered. So Zovin Aerospace is responsible for developing this satellites, and Skylobe.com is responsible for delivering the data sets to the end customers. With this, I thanks all of you. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, from Astrome Technologies, we have Mr. Venki Kumaran, who's going to be making his presentation. So green button to go ahead on this slide. Which one? Green button.
Good afternoon. So I think the best of the startups come towards the end. So, so we are here. We are Astrome, and my name is Venki Kumaran, and I'm the president of Astrome. Just kind of wanting to first thank Sudhir and Dr. Vinodji and everybody who's actually made us to what we are today. Okay, so thank you so much, sir. So what's our vision? Our vision is basically to connect the unserved and the underserved in the world, okay? So to that extent, we have already kind of implemented, products from a terrestrial standpoint. So we are a company that primarily has patented phased array technology in wireless, and this is primarily in what we call the 80 gigahertz band, which is E band in terrestrial, which is the same thing which is called W band in space. So primarily we're kind of killing 2 birds in 1 stone. So what we are trying to do is we have proved the functionality of the patent that we have today on the ground, which will double up as a communication payload in space, and we are kind of focusing on W band as a futuristic, band for the LEO orbit. Okay, so a little on what is our success so far. We are a revenue generating. We are a VC-backed company. We primarily have international VCs on board today who have kind of helped us in our journey so far. We have recognition from none other than the Prime Minister of the country himself, as well as I should talk about, I know it's a space event, but I should talk about our country's focus on the startup ecosystem. And I would like to call upon basically, the Department of Telecommunications run by Ashwini ji, who actually helped us give the first, pilot contract to kind of get into the connectivity business on the terrestrial side. Okay, so this will only enable us to get into space very, very quickly. All right. And the second contract that we got was primarily on something very, very interesting. We just kind of struck the deal about 3 weeks ago. We kind of signed the first defense contract with the Indian Army, with the Vice Chief, primarily again for tactical communications and border connectivity in the country. Okay, so so what's our offerings in space, right? So number one is we are primarily focused on the midstream, which is we have a contract with the Indian Navy for developing user ground terminals. We are very strong on that particular piece, as well as the communication payload. So we could kind of do that entire, bringing the W-band spectrum into use is something that we are looking forward to right now. Apart from, space intelligence, which is the ELINT and SIGINT area for electronic warfare, is something that we're working very, very closely today with the defense forces. So why do you think we should work with Astrom? Primarily, we are kind of leading the way in terms of communications and looking at the next generation of connectivity, either from terrestrial or from space. And we will be one of the leaders in the futuristic band, which is W band, in the days to come. So with that, thank you very, very much for this opportunity, and thanks to ISRO, NSIL, and everybody who are here. Thank you for your patience, for listening to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That was Astrom Technologies, Mr. Kumaran. Thank you, sir. Now we have Sankhya Labs Private Limited, and may I invite Mr. Vivek Kimbahune.
Yeah, good evening. First of all, many thanks to the organizers for this, mammoth gathering. And my job is a little bit difficult, primarily because it's easy to talk for 30 minutes, but very difficult to talk for 3 minutes. And then when you're the last but one speaker, it kind of makes it even more difficult. So I'll quickly talk about Sankhya Labs. As we started our journey in 2007 as a fabless semiconductor company. We were, in fact, India's, I don't say it with too much of pride, but we were India's first fabless semiconductor company. But over the years, we have evolved to be a system solutions company, having built solutions in the 5G O-RAN space, basically. And then we also are doing something very innovative on the ATSC 3.0 broadcast standard. And of course, Satcom is one of the major verticals for Sankhya. So over the years, we have been awarded with a lot of prestigious awards world over. And notably, one amongst them was the ATSC 3.0. It's a Richer medal, which we got just last week, last week, in fact, in United States, for being very, very innovative in bringing cutting-edge technologies to the world. Now, in terms of the size, we are a mid-sized company. We're about 200 odd people, and we have about 75 international patents to accredit. What I've been doing on the Satcom space is basically we have been, ISRO's partners for over a decade now. And one of the space assets that ISRO has for critical strategic technologies, we have partnered with ISRO, and the claim to fame has been the first of a kind products that we brought to market in partnership with ISRO. One amongst them, notable amongst them, I would say, is basically the world's first S-band satellite phone. Now, as you know, all the satellite phones that exist in the world today are on L-band. This is incidentally the world's first S-band satellite phone. It is basically a sleeve which adds to your Android phone, and your existing Android phone converts to a satellite phone. Now, this we did it 4 years back, and Apple just launched a service in the iPhone 14, which is essentially just a text service, but this can do voice, data, and short messaging service. So this was first of its kind product in the S-band space. The other notable project is we have, as you know, Indian Railways is one of the biggest networks in the world, railway networks in the world, and we have deployed our modems on Indian Railways. About 3,000 trains are equipped with our modems, and for that, hub baseband and terminals were all provided by Sankhya Labs. And recently, we are doing a project for coastal security where our terminals are getting on board the fishing vessels. And this is basically a large project and has strategic importance for the country as well. Yeah, in terms of the expertise, we are probably one of those companies which has expertise from chipset to field deployment expertise. We are now manning the network for coastal security for one of the states now, where the fishing vessels are deployed with that. And for that, we have done complete end-to-end. We pretty much do the terminals, we do the hub baseband, we do the end-user application and all of those. Now, what do we look for in an ideal partner is typically innovative capability, and like I said, we have 75 plus international patents, and also an ability to lead in the technology space. And as you can note, in the interest of time, I'll not walk you through all the points, but basically, we have a lot of first to our credit, and as a solution provider, we have the capability from end to end. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your patience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kimbahune. And now we have Sai Pranav Industries. May I invite Mr. Vivek Sitaraman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vivek Sitaraman, representing Sai Pranav Industries. We are a Chennai-based aerospace and defense component manufacturing. We've been catering to the requirements of ISRO since the last 3 decades. And primarily, we could call that we have been nurtured by ISRO right from their sounding rocket days. So we have been catering into the metallic stage separation systems for PSLV, GSLV, and Gaganyaan program, as well as for the DRDO programs catering to the missile programs, all in the stage separation systems. So we are an ISRO approved work center in Chennai, and we have a dedicated CNC setup which involves turning, machining, as well as we could also be doing a pressure testing with all the strain gauge based DAC. And we are also into light alloy structures, riveted structures, airframe machining, and also precision machining components for any segments. And this is a variety of products which we have done for ISRO and DRDO. And also we've also done boosters for pilotless target aircraft. Again, we are very specialized in 15 Series 6, maraging steel, aluminum, titanium. And we are looking at collaboration in terms of new business opportunities related to precision machining and related product segments, and scope for entry as a replacement or an alternative supplier, and even in defense, probably for the offset programs. We thank ISRO and the NSIL for providing us an opportunity for an MSME to present it in a G20 SELM. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was Mr. Sitaraman. And ladies and gentlemen, now from Dhruva Space, we have Mr. Kranti, after which we have Data Pattern, and we also have Premier Explosives Limited, Galaxy, and Aiden Technologies. So I'm going to request them to please be close to the podium. With that, from Dhruva Space, let's now invite Mr. Kranti.
Thank you. At Reusable, we're a full-stack space engineering company. We work across the space, launch, and the ground segment. For our clients, we build the satellites. We have our own deployment systems that we integrate the satellites with the launch vehicles. We deploy ground stations. So end-to-end from your mission needs, we just have to understand what is the payload that you want to fly, or what is the application that you want to develop, and we build it. We have our own satellite platforms, 3 different platforms up to 300 kilogram class. We have our own deployment modules across the CubeSat industry, and also ring deployers for microsatellites. We are into antenna manufacturing up to 13-meter dishes for LEO tracking or geostationary satellites in C, Ku band, X band, S band, and Ka band. We also have an integrated network in partnership with the Swedish Space Corporation that allows us to track satellites across 11 countries and provide us data across using a single mission control unit, and provide the solutions for our customers. We've been making satellites within India for the international market. We've launched about 3 missions in the last 12 months, and we continue to work on 8 missions over the next 24 months for our clients, spread across Indian government, the defense, and some international clients from Australia and Europe. We are increasing our manufacturing footprint. We've recently announced our new manufacturing plant, which will be catering about 100,000 square feet in Hyderabad. And we are looking forward to working with people who are to build satellites, or look at capacity addition in terms of manufacturing from India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kranti. And now from Data Pattern, we have Mr. Kuppuswamy.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kuppuswamy, representing Data Patterns. In all the movies, there is something like climax, okay, which grabs attention of everyone. I only hope that I can grab similar attention on our company. Okay. So we are a company, today we're about a 38-year-old company, listed company based out of Chennai. Our journey started with Department of Space, started from VSSC where we built test systems. As we went along, we became a product company. Today we have products presence in space, air, land and sea platforms. We are a company with a team size of about 1,100 people and close to 600 people are in design and development. So our other segments in data patterns, we have a huge presence in radars. We build phased array radars, EW products, avionics for fixed wing and rotary wing platforms, communication systems, that is beyond line of sight and line of sight communication systems. With ISRO, we started building satellites. So we are part of 4 satellites with the ISRO program and 3 on our own we have built for a private industries. And checkout has been our strengths from the day one. This is our production facility in Chennai. So we have about 200,000 square feet area, clean room, pick and place, manufacturing, high reliable electronics. We also have environment test facilities to support the environment test requirements of these products. So like I said, our journey started with the countdown checkout system with ISRO way back. This is on a second launch pad where almost all subsystems of launch vehicles we have provided checkouts. This is one of our satellites recently that we have developed for a university, Thapar University, with the MWIR payload as one of the item added onto that. This is about 15 kg equivalent product and 2 more for a private company we have done. The theme being space here, I'm restricting our exposure towards the space, but otherwise we have many other products in a different domain. These are the building blocks designed, developed, manufactured by data patterns, and for all the platform these can be reused and we can build an end product. These are some of the images through ISRO we have taken. My customer base, a little of customer side. What we can offer is we can build to spec kind of a products in satellites, build to print. We can be a supporting arm for product design and development in satellites. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Swami. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have Premier Explosives now. And I invite Mr. Chaudhary to kindly join us. He's next. So we invite Galaxy. From Galaxy, we'd like to invite Mr. Sriram. Green button to go ahead on your slides, sir.
So, dignitaries on the stage, delegations from everywhere, greetings one and all. So I'll be talking about a startup, Galaxy Space. So Galaxy is a space tech startup incubated in IIT Madras. We are an Earth observation data provider and we work on data as a service model. And we are building the highest resolution multi-sensor satellite. The sensors being a synthetic aperture radar and an optical sensor. So now these 2 data sets are available independently with the industry, right? But both of them individually have their drawbacks. SAR is unintuitive, but it is very informative and it is available at all times, irrespective of weather or if it's day or night. But optical, it is hardly available. Now combining the 2, we get the best of both worlds. This is our patented co-registered data set. Now here's a brief tech stack of what our company is doing. So we are due to launch our first satellite at the end of 2024, and we aim to have a constellation of satellites by 2027. The first satellite is a small sat category, less than 150 kg with sub-meter resolution for both SAR and optical, and it is available for on-demand tasking. Meanwhile, we are also working on downscaling and miniaturizing the payload for operations on other aerial platforms. Now, what does this ecosystem look like? Now, we are one of the data providers, and this is required by the geospatial solutions and services industry, the marketplace where the data is consumed, and platforms where the data works on the back end. Finally, we have our consumers requiring risk assessment, asset monitoring, supply chain management for a range of sectors like utility, forestry, agriculture, mining, real estate, and so on. Now, we are a team of 40 people operating out of Bangalore, and the company is a brainchild of 5 founders who were earlier part of a team called Avishkar Hyperloop, who competed in Elon Musk's Hyperloop competition and were the only team from Asia to be qualified. Now, we then incorporated in May 2021, and in 2 years, we have successfully raised a seed round with 3.6 million USD. Our top advisors are ex-DRDO chairmen and people from Google, Infosys, and so on. Right? Now, these are my contact details. Do reach out to me with any questions you have. Thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sriram. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have from Aiden Technologies, Mr. V.K. Kannan. And that also happens to be our final presentation, ladies and gentlemen, before the closing remarks. The green buttons are for...
Good evening, everyone. My name is V.K. Kannan, Director of Space Systems from Aiden Technologies. So thank you, ISRO, and thank you, InSpace, for giving me the opportunity for having presence here, particularly Sudhir Kumarji and Satish Kumarji for having given me the opportunity. We are deeply indebted to ISRO for the last 13 years of our existence. We started our space journey in 2009, and today we are able to sail through the space journey with your support. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is our, this is my name. This is our broad verticals. So we started our journey in the services, and we have been associated with ISRO, particularly in the C-band transponder, transmitter receiver packages, and we gone through almost like we have delivered almost 32 satellites so far in the space region. So this is our management team. H.V. Harish is our chairman and managing director. Rain. Thank you. So Mr. Vinay Chandran is our executive director from USA, and Dr. Revankar, ex-director DARE. He is our director of Micro, and my name is V.K. Kannan, graduated from Indian Institute of Science, CEDT, in 1986. This is our space clean room facility, and we have a total strength of around 49, including all the technician engineers. This is one of the first foremost products which you delivered to European Space Agency in 2010 when you started our first space product. These are some of the products which are delivered to ISRO in the last 13 years. We have been working on C-band transponder, S-band, X-band, KV-band. So we specialize in the RF packages, fabrication, testing area, and also some of the accessories. And this our technical strength is around 40. These are some of the cards which are delivered to the transponder RF packages. These are some of the packages which are delivered. And this is another area which we have worked on, the QFH antenna for ISRO. This is one of the AIT service which we have done along with the prime partner Alpha Design Technologies. A process identification document for all the work done for ISRO. These are some of the Gaganyaan products which we are delivering to DRDO for the Gaganyaan project, the bio-based electronics and the avionics interface unit for the astronaut. These are some of the Anvesha satellite products which are delivering to DRDO Hyderabad for the magnetic torquers, and also the 4-pi sun sensor for tracking the sun for the orientation of the satellite, and also under development the GNSS receiver and also the GPS global GLONASS active antenna. This is one of the ground systems which are delivered to URC Bangalore for the test instrumentation system for the Gaganyaan simulation. This is another facility in our facility what we have done for the solar cells, the lithium-ion cells facility for the measuring the characterization of the solar cells. We have built up in our facility a clean room for URC work. These are some of the other marine radar applications, in-house design development. These are some of the solid-state power amplifiers which are developed for the DRDO and the Indian Army and Indian Navy, and also the UHF data transceiver for the UAV, ultra UAV satellite. Telemetry control unit also we have developed. This is the last slide. So we thank you very much and staying back till the last minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And so with that, the presentations now come to a close, and it is now my privilege to request Mr. Shantanu Bhattavdekar, Scientific Secretary, ISRO, to render the concluding remarks, sir.
Okay, dear delegates, of course, we have a very thin presence of delegates now, as probably most of the people had the flight, so they were left. We had a marathon session for almost 4 hours and nearly 50 presentations, though of course time was given only 3 minutes. But the idea of this particular session was only basically to give the connect between the various space industries and to have the space business connect. And we have seen, of course, globally also all the space industries have come a long way in supporting the various space agencies and also the space economy. And most of the industries we have seen is now they are no longer limited to only the supply of components or the systems. They are also now into the job of system integration and also providing the end-to-end solutions. And we have seen, in fact, all the industries who are presented, they have almost covered the entire spectrum of the space technology, starting from the launch vehicle to the building of launch pads, to the reusable planes, the crew modules, also the orbital information from the space, and also building the habitat in space. So I think our entire spectrum of space activities are now being addressed by the space industries. And the downstream activity, of course, which has the larger component of the space economy, almost more than 70%. There also we have large number of geospatial industry players who are now playing a role not only as a data provider, but as a solution provider. And also the solution being provided to various sectors of the society, whether it is a health sector, the weather forecasting, the fertilizers, the farmers, to even the strategic sector. So I think we had a very good session, and the intent of this particular session was basically to showcase the capabilities and the facilities what each of the industry has across the globe, as well as, of course, we have large number of industry presentations from India, basically to show their capabilities and also build the network, so that wherever this kind of capability exists, other vendors can definitely utilize their capabilities. And I think most of their addresses are also given in the coffee table book, which was released yesterday by InSpace during the inaugural function. So at the end, I thank all the speakers and all the participants from the industry who not only stick to the time of 3 minutes, which is very less time to showcase their potential, but at the same time, they have delivered what was supposed to be conveyed to the audience here. Thank you very much. Vinod, if you have anything to say.
I will say they are really interesting presentations covering wide spectrum in all the domain, and it's good to connect. And it was very nice to see that people, all the 51 presentation we have today, plus 2 from industry. So we are on time. Thank you. Wish you all the best, and we will connect in future.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, I'd like to thank Mr. Shantanu Bhattavdekar, Scientific Secretary, ISRO, Dr. Vinod Kumar, Director Promotion, InSpace, and maybe also thank Mr. M. Sudhir Kumar, Director, CBPO. Thank you very much to all the distinguished delegates of the G20 members, the invited countries, the international organization. And may I just say that Ant Asti Prarambha, this is a new beginning, and we hope that the heritage of India and the philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, and the learnings and the seed for collaboration sown during these transformative 2 days of G20 SELM will leave a lasting impression on your memories. There should be definitely no space between space and the common man, as quoted by our Honorable Prime Minister. So let us all vow at this moment to co-create and nurture the new sustainable space. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it is also my pleasant duty to invite you to a quiet dinner, which starts 7 p.m. onwards at the Blue Ginger restaurant. Thank you very much once again for being an integral part of these 2 days of the 4th edition of the Space Economy Leaders Meeting. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.